Heat, the off-speed, and the filthy stuff.
Oh, he got close.
Give us head-first dives, plays at the plate, and late-inning heroics.
Come join the party.
Give us the game's best. Twins, Cubs. Give us Sunday Night Baseball, Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell.
Spain and Fitz.
Dak even came out and said, people might criticize me for being sensitive, but I think it's huge to get help and it saves lives. You hear him say that, and your response is, he's the quarterback of America's team. That perspective is so lost, especially understanding the extra and added pressure that's on these athletes playing during a pandemic.
Spain and Fitz, weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or wherever you stream your audio.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, developing story. A reminder sent to teams today by the NFL of the requirement that coaches must wear face coverings at all times on the sidelines during games, threatening to discipline those who do not comply. There were varying degrees of compliance yesterday. Quarterback Cam Newton coming off 15 rushing attempts in his Patriots debut, not worried about the risk of injury if that trend continues. He told WEEI, as long as he can run, take care of himself, and slide when need be, everything will be okay. Added, you have to do whatever is necessary to win. Having Cam run that much long-term, though, won't work for New England, believes ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
15 runs is not sustainable for this offense. 14 designed runs, all which were hits, is not sustainable for Cam Newton. What's the one thing that we have all said about Cam Newton's career? The number one thing we have all said is those hits added up, and they will add up over the course of a season.
Cowboys linebacker Leighton Vander Esch slated for collarbone surgery tomorrow. He is expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yo, it's Jay Williams. Coming up Tuesday, we'll react to the first game of the season for my Giants. Plus, Game 7 in the NBA playoffs with a spot in the conference finals on the line. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Tuesday, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN News.
This is the
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Victory Monday. Or Happy Monday in general, but Happy Victory Monday. Something that we didn't really get to celebrate a lot last year. And all of a sudden, after week 1, here we are, 1-0, top of the AFC South Division. Everyone's upset right now because of their bets maybe didn't get cashed. I may have taken the Colts. I'm not upset, though. Is this team tanking now? Man, I've said it before. It's hard to tell after one game, but I'll be honest. I'm intrigued. I might be on board here. And here's the thing about it. Right, where we can come in here and overreact, the classic overreaction week 1 Monday. We can do that, but let's be honest to ourselves right now. If the Jaguars would have came out on Sunday and lost by 21 or lost by a bigger amount, the defense looked horrible, the offense was kind of and that happened on Sunday, well, then I would be in here saying, whoa, hit the panic button. They're tanking. It's over. So if they don't do well, I would obviously say, well, that's what we saw on field. That's what we expected. But they didn't. They did do well. So with that being said, I think right now, and people are probably nervous out there to do this, it's okay to be excited after one game. It's okay to see the Jacksonville Jaguars right now and be like, you know what? They might have something there. Now, once again, it is just one game, but celebrate a little bit. Enjoy it. Enjoy Tampa Bay, getting beat by so much in New Orleans. Enjoy Miami being Miami. Enjoy being the only undefeated team right now in the state of Florida. All right? And yeah, I'm sure ESPN's going to slam more Tom Brady down our throat and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down our throat. I'm sure ESPN's going to maybe show, a minute of Jaguars coverage, and that's okay. But I'm just saying it's okay to enjoy this win. Now, you know how I operate, though. I'm also a realist here. And in a little while, my co-host Brent Martineau is going to come in here and puke out his sunshine and rainbows for your ears to hear. So I'm going to leave that to him. But I'm also a realist. And we have to talk about what we saw, what can improve, what was great, and just who is this team right now that we witnessed this past Sunday. As I mentioned, my co-host Brent Martineau is out for a little bit. He's on his way here, though, at the Dream 18 in Southampton. Obviously for a great cause, a great golf tournament. I was there in support, didn't play any golf myself. I saw Kuz over there. I guess you golfed okay, right?
Yeah, I did decent. I played 2 days in a row, which is like, I don't think I've ever done that. Yeah. And 2 decent days. So, yeah.
And obviously, here's my problem with it, right? Because I saw you there.
Yeah.
You were with your lovely fiance, but I go up to you. I'm like, hey, man, how you shooting? Because that's what you have to do in golf, right? You have to ask, hey, how you hitting them today? It seems that's kind of like the general.
How you smacking them?
How you smacking them? Everyone says that. So I was trying to follow in line here. Wasn't wearing a polo shirt, just wearing a T-shirt. So I was already sticking out like a sore thumb. So I try to, use my vocabulary a little bit to blend in with the people at Southampton. So I go to Kuz. Kuz, how'd you hit him today? And what'd you tell me, Kuz?
What did I say?
You said I hit under what?
41.
A 41.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know a lot about golf, but what I know is that a 41's damn good.
Yeah, pretty decent.
A 41's damn juicy. Okay. So you said that, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I not beat you like a year ago, and all of a sudden you're shooting 41s? Well, lo and behold, it was a scramble, right? So
a shamble.
A shamble.
Yeah.
So you're playing with other people.
So you play, with that you played the best drive, which we were playing with my fiance, who played for Flagler, who was playing 2 tees in front of where we were hitting from. So she was essentially driving the green every hole.
She might as well be sponsored by somebody. She is sponsored?
Titleist, yeah.
She's sponsored by Titleist?
Yeah.
No big deal. Okay. Well, anyways, okay, that's crazy. But so do you get clubs and stuff?
The clubs that I have, they're
old clubs. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Go and give me a little talk after this break and we'll figure something out. But here's my point though. You said that you shot under whatever, a 40 something. And I was like, well, that's really good. Well, you didn't. The team did. So I'm going to need you to stop saying, I shot under a 40-something at Southampton. You shot.
Here's the thing, is
the royal we.
Nicole.
Yeah.
She did better than that. She only shot a 2 over in general because we only played 9 because we had to come back here. So, we're also, by the way, we weren't ever really able to say this last year during a Jags game. It's a big streamer thing, so it kind of goes for everybody. But we got to set it up where you and Austin, when the show starts, we'd be like, yo, we got to get some Duvals in the chat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Duvals in the chat.
Yeah, I like that.
Hit us with some Duvals.
I like that. Well, and keep in mind, it is Minshew Monday here, as Brent has stated out. So we got a little surprise for, I think, everybody later. I think that's still in place. So we'll wait until he gets here to see what's up. But that game, though, keep in mind, I was coming back from South Carolina, so I had it on my cell phone. I was driving, had it on my cell phone. Had a little bit of a headache, not going to lie, but we made it work. But, the crazy thing about what I saw on Sunday was it felt like I had seen the story a million times before, and I thought the story was going to go down the same road. If you recall that opening drive for the Colts, they made it look easy, right? Miles Jack had a missed tackle. They stick it in the end zone, 7-0. And then all of a sudden, how did the Jaguars respond? They run the ball with James Robinson. Oh, keep in mind, James Robinson looked good right off the bat, but I think they ran 3 times in a row. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, well, I see what's happening here. You're going to showcase James Robinson, which is fine, but then you're just going to let Gardner Minshew take the backseat because you know why? Because you guys want Trevor Lawrence. And that's immediately where my mind went. Literally, we're 4 minutes in the first quarter, and I'm like, oh, I see what's happening already. This is going to be a blowout. Defense can't stop anything. And that's what it started to look like happened. Then all of a sudden you had a Brandon Linder face mask penalty. A penalty killed the Jaguars' drive, put them back, 15 yards, and they had a punt. And I'm like, oh, it's game over. Like, that's what I've been so predispositioned to. I'm so conditioned to think like this, where I thought, less than halfway through the first quarter, the Jaguars are done. But that's not what happened. Like, all of a sudden you saw a team when Minshew got going a little bit where it's like, okay, these Jaguars might have something for us. You saw a team when the Colts had on the 3-yard line on their second drive, Avery Jones steps up and says, what's up? Let's go ahead and stop that 4th down and let's get off the field. I wasn't expecting that. How many times last year in a 4th and 1 opportunity did you expect the Jaguars defensive line to make a stop? Not that many. And how many times last year on a 4th and 1 did you expect the Jaguars to convert a 4th and 1 on a run? Probably not that many. But right now, man, I'm telling you, and it wasn't pretty on defense, let's be honest right now. I think if you want to be a realist a little bit, Phillip Rivers, 363 yards passing, didn't have his best game, had 2 interceptions that were just atrocious, just stared down his receiver the entire time. And if you look at the Colts offense, didn't punt one time. They had 357 yards passing, under 100 rushing, which was great, obviously, for the Jaguars. But overall, I mean, their offense was kind of clicking a little bit, and they got a bunch of easy yards. So once again, I could have sat there and said, well, it's going to be a long day for the Jaguars defense. But you know what? Yeah, sometimes they bend, but they didn't break, right? Like there was a couple plays where, yeah, maybe there was some easy coverage there where it was a first down, and you keep on going and going. But I didn't see like that drive killer. I didn't see that play where it was like, oh, man, that it takes the wind out of your sails. They didn't really give that up. So with that being said, yeah, the defense has to play better in the pass game, so be it. But you know what? When you watch C.J. Henderson, when you see Avery Jones, when you see Miles Jack, when you see Chason, you kind of like what you saw a little bit on defense. Now, yeah, you can clean some things up, and keep in mind, against a very high-powered Colts offense that people were all about. Oh, Phillip Rivers has the best offensive line now to work with. They got T.Y. Hilton. Pittman's coming along. Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor. And now Marlon Mack goes down in the first half, torn Achilles out for the year, sending him well wishes. But Jonathan Taylor, I mean, kind of picked up the slack a little bit. But needless to say, I think that if the Jaguars defense can keep on doing what we saw and they can bend but they don't break, you might have something here. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, it goes without saying, right? When you have 10 different receivers have at least one catch, you know something's on. And this was my biggest compliment to Jay Gruden to come to Jacksonville. It's the fact that he loves to spread the ball around. Right, he just doesn't focus on one guy. He focuses on everybody. He sees what the defense is giving him, and then he throws it back out there. And with that being said, you saw the ball being spread around, and you saw Minshew literally just kind of have a field day a little bit against this Colts defense. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Phillip Rivers last year here for the Chargers. When Phillip Rivers literally goes, all right, Austin, it's your turn now. Oh, what's up, Hunter Henry? Here's a ball for you. Oh, come on, Keenan. I didn't forget about you. Here's Keenan Allen. There's your ball. Like, it seemed to me like Gardner Minshew was just having fun back there. Now, yeah, once again, wasn't a perfect game. Got sacked a couple times. Cleaned that right up. Not a big deal. But what for Gardner Minshew was able to do, I mean, 19 for 20, 95% completion percentage, 173 yards. Okay. 3 touchdowns, and most importantly, a 151.7 QBR rating. I'll say that one more time. I know I'm saying a lot of numbers at you guys right now, but it needs to be said again. A 151.7 QB rating. Not mad at that. You can win with that. And the most important thing that I saw from this Jaguars offense, it was the leadership of Gardner Minshew. He seemed to provide that spark. Now, yes, James Robinson did a fantastic job. I was the first one to say, Leonard Fournette's out of town. What are you guys doing? You got nothing for him. You're now worse with Leonard Fournette not being there. That storyline still remains to be seen. I'll tell you what, after 1 week, obviously you're liking James Robinson over Leonard Fournette right now. But let's see how that one plays out. But I'm saying what James Robinson was able to do, impressive. 16 attempts, 62 yards, 3.9 average. Once again, you can win with that, okay? Now, I don't need James Robinson to have that game-breaking speed like Fournette did his rookie year. I'm reminded of, having one of the fastest mile-per-hour times or whatever it was in Pittsburgh. I don't need that. All I need James Robinson to keep on doing is just keep falling forward, man, right? Because the guy plays with a style where it's like he's not dancing around in the hole. He sees the hole, he makes his cut, and he goes. And guess what? When he goes forward. And that's what you want to see. You don't want to see these on first downs, these 2nd and 9s and 2nd and 8s. You want to see a 2nd and 6, a 2nd and 5. If you can do that with this Gruden offense, you got something special here. So I like what James Robinson did. I like what he added, to that Jaguars offense a little bit. I like seeing Chenault out of Wildcat. I like seeing Chenault in the slot. I like the formation changes. For the first time, it seems like in a long time right now, it's exciting to watch the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. When's the last time you got to say to your friends, see that Jaguars offense? How fun was that? How fun was that? Because usually it's vanilla, it's vanilla yogurt. It's plain. It's run the ball, pass, run the ball, pass. Nah, man, not anymore. And like I said, when that very first drive started out, I'm like, oh, it's going to be more of the same for this Jaguars offense. But then all of a sudden, Gruden went to his bag of tricks. You know, he relied on the arm of Gardner Minshew, and you got to see a little appetizer. You got to see a little sample of what this Jaguars offense could be. So I love that, man. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here because, I mean, even on plays, like I'm reminded of the Chanel touchdown. Yeah, Tyler Eifert open as well. Like, guys are getting open with these design route combinations here, and I love to see it. And the best part about that Jaguars offense, and we'll see what happens to the Titans tonight, but the Titans are going to come sit down probably on a Tuesday, watch that film and be like, all right, well, oh wait, James Robinson looks pretty good. Okay, well, Gardner Minshew's good, spoiler alert. I knew that already. But how are we going to shut down the receivers? How are we going to stop Chenault? How are we going to stop Conley? How are we going to stop Chark, Keelan Cole? Like, everybody's getting involved in this offense, and I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. Colin Johnson, he had a 14-yard grab. I mean, everybody was getting involved. And don't forget, Chris Thompson, I think, hasn't been unleashed yet. You know, he only had 2 receptions, didn't get that much playing time. I thought for sure we were going to see a lot more Chris Thompson this past Sunday. But when James Robinson's doing so well, I get it. But Chris Thompson is still, yet to be unleashed to the world. So I think right now, and I think that the Colts defense made this mistake as well. They wanted Gardner Minshew to try to beat them. They set it up where it's like, we don't respect James Robinson. We don't know where Illinois State is. We have no idea who this guy is. You're just going to pounce him in the backfield because you do let Leonard Fournette go, and we're going to see what happens. You can tell it on defense the first play for the Colts. They wanted Gardner Minshew to beat him. And props to Jay Gruden for coming out and saying, you know what? Let's go ahead and run the ball a little bit. Let's go ahead and open this thing up a little bit, and then let's rely on Minshew. And you could tell that the Colts defense was off kilter. So a heck of a game, I think, a heck of a first game for Jay Gruden. Now, let's keep it within reason, though, right? Because I remember sitting here last year talking about John DeFilippo and how good he looked with Gardner Minshew. But I'm just saying the first game of the season, everyone's getting involved in the offense. The defense, they bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And enough cannot be said about what I saw from the rookies, okay? And by rookies, I'm talking about, so listen, C.J. Henderson's a guy that's been getting a lot of flack a little bit, during training camp and things like that. Gets 2 hours of sleep a night, supposedly. Kind of talked to the media a little bit, but didn't talk to him, things like that. C.J. Henderson, I thought, had a great game. And there is something to be said when you get your first interception in your first game in terms of confidence. I truly feel like the quarterback position, it's mental, man. But so is the cornerback. So is the defensive back position. When you're on an island, you have to have that mindset that nobody can touch you. And when you get an interception like that your first game against Phillip Rivers, and I think it was on T.Y. Hilton, what is that going to do for your confidence? So I think C.J. Henderson probably played his best game that he could ask for. No, he's going to tell you, I wish I could play a little better, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, from what I saw from C.J. Henderson, what I saw from even Chase on a little bit, you got to like what you see. Now comes the real question. We'll come back to this after the break here. Is what we saw who the Jaguars are, or do the Colts play that bad? What can we expect going forward now? We'll break that down next year on ESPN 690.
Action Sports JAGS with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking partly sunny skies today with scattered showers and embedded thunderstorms moving inland in the afternoon and evening with a high near 90, and it will be breezy with winds from the east. Tonight, cloudy skies with a few lingering rain showers and a low of 73. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beards' unbeatable deals.
Want a party? Here's an invitation. The team at CGC Water is throwing a party, and you're invited. 50 years ago, Connecticut innovated water treatment with their non-electric twin tank softeners, and they are celebrating with you. Come on out Saturday, September 26th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Celebrate with huge savings on salt and get 50% off Connecticut filters. There will be hourly drawings for great prizes, and there will be music out there as well. The team will be available to answer any questions, and they want to welcome you to the Connecticut family. Safety guidelines will be adhered to ensure all attendees enjoy the day in a safe, healthy environment. Visit 2181 St. John's Bluff Road South right here in Jacksonville, Saturday, September 26th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and celebrate 50 years of providing customers with safe, clean, purified drinking water. If you are not filtering your water, you are the filter. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
I never knew my home would become my workplace. I never dreamed it would be my child's school. And I never imagined my home would be under attack from an invisible enemy called COVID-19. This is why I trust SafeTouch Security. It's one app that puts me in control. My SafeTouch system allows me to control who's on my property, movement while the kids are at home learning their school lessons, who I speak with without even opening the front door, as well as home deliveries, my heating and air conditioning, door locks, and complete protection against the threats of fire, burglary, and assault. You know, you can even have control over your car. Know you are safe with the most up-to-date security system from SafeTouch. SafeTouch Security has been doing what others can't for over 35 years. Reliable local monitoring. No other company comes close to SafeTouch's track record on guaranteed response times. Go to safetouch.com and find out how you can get zero down and free equipment with a lifetime warranty. That's safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
There's a new, modern, patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge are in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Home Builders Institute is a national leader for career training in the building industry and provides students the skills and experience they need for successful careers. HBI training programs are taught in local communities across the country to youth, veterans, displaced workers, and other underserved populations. These programs do more than just provide job skills. They also build character and self-esteem, helping to provide students with the skills they need to succeed on the job and in life. Learn more at hbi.org.
The ride you want, the savings you need. Oh, and when it comes to credit approval, almost everyone gets approved. Sounds like it's time to get it all and get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Finding the best ride starts with big-time selection. And at Arlington Toyota, you'll find over 750 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Right now at Arlington, shop over 100 quality pre-owned cars to buy at zero down and just $199 a month. Looking for a truck or SUV? Arlington's got 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs to buy at zero down and $269 a month. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. Now, when I say get it all at Arlington, I mean it, because you'll get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Just another way that Arlington goes the extra mile for you. Get it all when you shop pre-owned at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
CGC Water is on a mission. If you are not filtering your water, you are the filter. The mission is to provide all who can hear this message with clean, purified drinking water, period. Up to 60% of the human body is made up of water, making the CGC Water mission vitally important to living a healthy life. CGC offers no contact sales and service appointments and takes all necessary precautions while in your home. Kinetico systems from CGC Water remove up to 99% of the contaminants. And this month, get 50% off a K5 reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Get peace of mind knowing your family is drinking great tasting, purified water. That's what we do at my home. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Join the mission and allow CGC Water to purify your drinking water. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Servicing Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
This is Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
Some NBA play-by-play here this week as well, right here on ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. You looked over like, are you going to make it?
Yeah, man. I'm making sure we're all good here.
Hey, listen, I get choked up about the new lineup.
Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690.
Play one play at a time. Got an offensive coordinator that's calling good plays, receivers that caught the ball, O-line that's giving me time, and a running game that really got us ahead of the chain. So, I'm just trying to do my job one play at a time, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunities and the people around me.
Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew. How could you not like what you saw from him yesterday? Do you think he's been hearing the Trevor Lawrence tanking thing a little bit? I imagine he has. And you want to talk about a statement where it's like, oh, what's up, Trevor? Hope you're watching. Hope you like going to I don't even know. I don't even know right now, like, who the teams that are doing bad, because it was a crazy first week. I would say the Redskins, but they won. So I don't know. I'm not sure where Trevor Lawrence is going to go yet. But if the Jaguars keep playing like this, it's not going to be Jacksonville. Not if Gardner Minshew has anything to say about it whatsoever. Austin Lane here. Welcome here on a Victory Monday on Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690. My co-host Brent Martineau will be here momentarily, coming back from the Dream 18 golf tournament after another successful year of the Dream 18. I'm sitting here, and I asked the question before I went to break. What can the Jaguars do now? Like, who are they? Like, is this team playoff bound? Are they still, using the T word, let's just say? Like, who is this team after 1 week? Because let's be honest. 1 week, you can't find out a lot of things. Like, I can tell you after 1 week, I think the Ravens are going to be good. I can tell you after 1 week, the Chiefs are good, obviously. I can tell you after 1 week that I think Joe Burrow might be good, And I can tell you after 1 week, the Eagles, I wouldn't quite panic about them just yet. Same thing with the Cowboys as well. I think they're going to be okay. Like, those things I think at least are guarantees. But the guarantee about the Jaguars, are they the real deal or not? That's a debate. It really is. Because one could argue, well, was that Phillip Rivers? Was that the best he could do? Staring down his receivers, throwing two just horrible interceptions like that? Like, was that the Colts' best performance? Probably not. And to be fair, that probably wasn't the best Jaguars performance either on defense. But with that being said, I'm excited for week 2 for a couple reasons. Obviously, you make your most progress from week 1 to week 2. And I think that can be said for the pandemic and no preseason games as well. But what I'm excited about for week 2 is you're about to see exactly who the Jacksonville Jaguars truly are. Like, to me right now, week 2, you can't hide from it. Now, you can make the argument a couple years ago, Jaguars played the Patriots here at TIAA Bank Field. They absolutely hammered the Patriots, and then what happened after that? So you can't put all your chips into week 2. But I think this matchup, Jaguars in Nashville against their, big brother right now, the Tennessee Titans, I think it's going to say a lot, not from really the scheme what you're going to face against the Titans, because let's be honest here. Yeah, you got A.J. Brown. You paid Ryan Tannehill all this money, but you're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. And you're going to play a tough, physical brand of football. And to me, playing the Colts week 1, that was more about, yes, the Colts have one of the best offensive lines. Yes, the Colts are physical. Yeah, Quentin Nelson. You have all these. I get it. But the Colts, to me, make their money by throwing different kind of looks at you, right? Like, how many running back passes did we see, like to Nyheim Hines, where he was wide open, right? Like, that's more of a scheme thing than it is a mentality thing. And in the second half, I think we saw the Jaguars defensive line step up to the occasion and shut down that run. My point, though, is in Tennessee, it's going to be different. In Tennessee, you know exactly what they're going to do. We saw it last year in the AFC divisional round game against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, who are a great defense in their own right, struggled last year against the playoffs in the Tennessee Titans. And guess what? They knew what the Titans were going to do, and they couldn't stop it. So to me right now, we have a defense that's still a little known for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be exposed either good or bad against the Tennessee Titans because you know what they're going to bring to the table. You know you have to shut down Derrick Henry. You know you have to hold your own in the trenches. And the same thing can be said on offense as well. So I'm excited for this Titans game because if the Jaguars can show up, bring their lunch pail, you know, bring 2 chin straps, bring their big boy pads and have success, well, then you know what you have right there. Now, if they wilt, like we've seen in the past, if they get outmanned, out-physical, well, then it's kind of like, oh, no, here we go again. So that's why I'm just so intrigued by this Titans game. It couldn't be a better matchup, I think, right now to be the ultimate litmus test of where these Jaguars are at. And I can't wait to break down that game later on, this week. Now, the Titans play the Broncos tonight. It's going to be a short notice game coming up on Sunday for the Titans. We'll see how that pans out. But I'm curious to watch the Titans tonight. I want to see if it's going to be that same type of Vrabel, physical, demanding style of offense, or do they go a little more of the spread with A.J. Brown now? Everyone's saying Corey Davis is looking okay. Jonnu Smith at tight end. I'm curious to see what the Titans are bringing to the table tonight, and it's something that Jaguars fans should keep an eye on. We also, obviously at 4 o'clock, we got to break down those Florida State Seminoles a little bit as well. If you're a Seminoles fan this weekend, I'm sorry, okay? At least the Jaguars can make it a little better for you. I actually got to watch that entire game because with that rain delay, I got to watch in the locker room before my fight. And, yeah, we're going to break that game down at 4. And, listen, if you're a Noles fan right now, once again, first game of the season, how nervous are you? What did I see from that game? Where did it go wrong? Is it going to be another 4 or 5 win season tops for those Florida State Seminoles? We'll break that down later as well. Kuz, did you watch the game?
The Jags game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think, man?
I thought I was nervous like you.
Yeah.
Right off the beginning, I kind of was like, oh, boy, here we go. And then I kind of walked out of the room for a little bit. We were actually at Nicole's family's. They just had a kid, so we were hanging out with the infant.
Nice.
And next thing you know, I look over and I'm like, oh, it's Jags are keeping this close. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're up. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I was trying. The whole time we were debating how much of actual crowd noise was influencing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it obviously looked empty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but on TV it's
But you can't hear,
boisterous.
we didn't know what was actually being heard. I know Minshew was talking about the crowd helped and stuff like that. But, I still trying to figure out if it is, a huge advantage because they were the only team in the NFL to have fans on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday, correct. And that'll be something I can't wait to break down with Brent as well because, obviously Brent was there covering the game. I'm excited to hear just what that crowd was like, what he saw, where were the policies being regulated and things like that. So we're going to break that down with him here in a little bit. Speaking of someone who's probably watched the game, I assume, we got Steven on the line right now. I think he wants to talk a little Gardner Minshew stats, if you will. Steven, what's going on, man?
Hey, not too much. How about you, Austin?
Same old stuff, man. I'm here. I'm breathing, so I'm happy.
I'm going to throw something at you, especially from tweets that I saw.
Hit me with it.
Minshew doing it again, breaking a record, first game of the year with that his stats. But actually, James Robinson broke a record yesterday.
Okay.
For undrafted free agent running backs, yards week 1 in debut. The record was 45. He got 62.
There you go, man.
New record holder. And the ultimate icing in the cake was later on in Twitter, you had Gardner Minshew and James Robinson in a photo Minshew saying, my first year with a real running back.
Is that what he said, really?
That's what the picture shows. Somebody,
someone photo. I was going to say, I don't know if he's that petty. Okay. Well, thanks, Stephen, man. Appreciate it. No, listen, I mean, I don't think Gardner Minshew himself posted that. I mean, I hope not. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't think he's that petty with it.
A lot
but there's a lot of memes.
Leonard Fournette directed comments on social media, memes, and all that going on.
Oh, yeah, and the same thing with Ronnie Harrison as well, right? Because let's be honest here. If your name's Yannick Ngakoue, if your name's Ronnie Harrison, if your name's Leonard Fournette right now, you're sitting at 0-1, okay? You're not sitting too pretty. Now, Calais Campbell obviously got that W, but go ahead.
Are we, sorry, while you were saying that, I mean, it made me think of the Jalen Ramsey play at the end of the game with the.
I know. I mean,
are all Jags fans saying that
and
was
the
not?
Oscar goes too. And listen. At the end of the day, it helps me out because I had the Rams winning that game, so that's fine with me. But yes, and the Oscar goes to, I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is up there, Jalen Ramsey with the performance of a lifetime. Don't get it twisted. But listen, Steven, with these numbers and with these stats and everything and these records, here's where I sit on the records, okay? I don't know, and they announced it during the game I was watching on TV. I don't know how many undrafted free agent running backs have started in the NFL. I think it's like around 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, James Robinson broke that record. But I'm going to be honest, sometimes I think we get so caught up in the numbers and in the records game that you take for granted just what you saw on TV, right? Like, I can find numbers and stats and records probably for every single player yesterday on the Jaguars. I can say, well, Colin Johnson's the first 5th-round pick to have a 20. I can play that game all day. But what I saw from James Robinson was a guy who runs hard. What I saw from James Robinson is a guy who can hurdle people. I don't know where that hurdle came from, lands on his feet, and he keeps on going. Like, I'm excited for that. Right now, yeah, if you want to sprinkle on some records, you want to sprinkle on some stats, so be it. Whatever, floats your boat or finds your lost remote, as Outkast would say. But I'm just excited from what I saw in the game, what my eyes were telling me. Same thing with Minshew, right? Minshew has a record now, right? And yeah, go back to the rating, go back to his stats, only had 1 incompletion. Very impressive. Now, keep in mind, and then once again, let's keep within reason here. He only had 173 yards passing. Now, obviously, you want to see that number go up a little bit, but all things considered, 19 for 20. You can't really beat that, but I just like what I saw from the poise of Minshew. I saw how he handled himself in the pocket. I saw how he looked off receivers and looked back. I mean, he had the makings of a veteran quarterback year 2 in his first game. Keep in mind, 0 preseason games, not a lot of live reps, and he looks better. He looks improved. He looks more confident, and now you have a guy who's going into a second year who can take over that whole leadership role. Keep in mind last year, it was supposed to be Nick Foles' team, right? Nick Foles was the guy. Everyone's singing Nick Foles praises. Everyone was at Nick Foles' house last year, hanging out. He's a great guy, not only on the field, but off the field. John DeFilippo sweared by him. Well, guess what? Minshew took over, but he took over as a rookie, right? You still have to earn your stripes. You still have to get that respect in the locker room, and you still have to show that you can lead these guys on the field. Well, he did that last year. And now all of a sudden you have a team where it seems like, and once again, I don't care what you think about Leonard Fournette or the whole Ronnie Harrison stuff, but if you at least have a team right now that it looks like they've bought into Minshew. You see that on the field. You see that in the locker room. And it was my biggest thing that I said going forward is that, listen, when the players want to call him a dog, and that, by the way, the phrase dog is the most respectful thing you can say about a football player. When players want to call him a dog, and the analytics say he's going to be good, and the stats last year say, he was good, you have a recipe for success. And Gardner Minshew reinstated that against the Colts. He looks like the real deal. Now he's got to keep this going. He's got to remain consistent, all that good stuff. But how could you not like what you saw yesterday from Gardner Minshew? So it begs the question, what do the Jaguars have to improve on, right? Well, for Minshew, you just keep doing you, man, because I really have no complaints. Yeah, maybe there's a couple times you can get rid of the ball a little sooner, but who am I to nitpick week 1 right now, okay? I think from Minshew's perspective, you're looking great. I think from James Robinson's perspective, you're looking great. And you know what? And the biggest thing that I said that I was going to watch in this game wasn't even around a player, wasn't even around a scheme. What was it? It was the penalties. I said, I'm going to watch to see how many penalties the Jacksonville Jaguars have, because they had 0 preseason give us any kind of clues. This was technically the first preseason game and the first regular season game of the season here, right? And you had a team that had 6 penalties. Now, yeah, there are a couple costly penalties. That Brandon Linder one, I believe, on the opening drive, very costly, right? You had all the momentum going, that face mask, and I get it. It was kind of nitpicky here, but it is what it is. There was a penalty. Yeah, move back, drive stalled. But overall, a team with only 6 penalties for how many ever yards, you can win with that. I'll take 6 penalties every single week. And what did I say? There's no excuses anymore, right? Like, even if there's going to be a crowd there, it's not going to be to the point where you jump off sides. It won't be to the point where there's a false start. So with that being said, 6 penalties, that falls right on the coaching. And that falls on Doug Marrone more specifically. So props to Doug Marrone for getting his guys ready to play. Right now, I think overall in the entire NFL, penalties were down a little bit. Now, whether that's because the crowd's not there, whatever the reason, penalties are down. But I'm just saying one of the biggest things I was going to watch for, I was impressed with the fact that the Jaguars didn't really shoot themselves in the foot. And when you don't shoot yourselves in the foot, well, then you got a chance to win. And that's exactly what happened this past Sunday. So I love that. But what can the Jaguars improve on? That's the big question. And to me, it stems more on defense right now than offense, right? Because we talked about the bend, don't break mentality. That's what the Jaguars have right now. Are the Jaguars going to be a top 5 defense? Probably not, okay? And now that's not a week 1 overreaction. I'm just saying for what they have right now, there's no other Jaguars going to be top 5 and maybe even a top 10, right? But I will say this. You got to clean up the communication a little bit. Now, I think after halftime, you saw some adjustments. You stopped the run. But to me, there was too many times where guys were kind of wide open. Right now, whether that was a coverage breakdown, a communication breakdown. And listen, I'm getting nitpicky right now, right? Because overall, the Jaguars, well, that's the most important thing. But I'm just saying I would like to see them clean things up a little bit more on defense. And, man, if there's some way to get Chase on and Josh Allen on the field more at the same time, I won't be opposed to that either. I get it. And that was one of the biggest stories this offseason was what are the Jaguars going to run on defense? You know, you had Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell hinting 3-4. You had Todd Wash saying we're staying true to what we always ran. And it was hard to exactly get a fingerprint of what they were going to run. Well, you saw it. You saw that base defense with that big defensive end that you've been accustomed to seeing. And whether it was Gostis or Smoot out there, I mean, they're still rolling with that big defensive end. Now, I make the argument last year a little bit. A big complaint about the defense last year on the defensive line was the fact that you couldn't get Josh Allen and Yannick Ngakoue on the field at the same time enough. Like, that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see Josh Allen get his reps. I wonder if we're going down this rabbit hole now where in a couple weeks we'll be talking about, well, Chase has to get some more reps, man. You have to get him and Josh Allen on the field at the same time. How could you not? Because, listen, while, you know, they may not have shined in the sack department this past Sunday, Chason showed his speed. I mean, you saw that one play where he ran across the field, made that tackle. It's evident right now that this guy is one of the fastest guys on the field, right? It's almost like Quincy Williams last year when Doug Marrone said Quincy Williams was the fastest guy on the field. Well, what's up, Chason? Because you might be the fastest guy now. That guy plays with his hair on fire, as coaches always say. And I think right now, and I get it, he's still young. He's still learning the game, and I get all that, man. But when you got a freak athlete like that at that position, I would want to get him on the field as much as possible. Now, keep in mind, you're going to Tennessee, Sunday, where you're going to be in a lot of base packages. I mean, I assume you're going to be because you're going to run the ball a lot. So are we going to see a lot of Chase on this up-and-coming Sunday? Probably not. But I'm just saying I don't want to fall into the same problem that we saw last year where we're not getting that guy on the field as much as possible because I truly feel like this, and I said this day one since the Jaguars drafted him. I think he's too good, even though he's a rookie, to not be on the field right away. Because we're going to go to break here, I think. All right, cool. So we're going to head to break real quick. We come back here, more of that Jaguars game, and we got Florida State at 4. Let's go ahead and break that game down a little bit. Oh, Mike Norwell, where did it go wrong for you? Where did it go wrong for the Florida State Seminoles? This wasn't your grandpa's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This wasn't your grandpa's triple option kind of run team. No, this was a new Georgia Tech offense that you were going against. And unfortunately, you didn't do your thing against them. I break that down a little bit here on ESPN 690.
Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show, you missed this.
The Jags have 2 opt-outs. How big are these losses in your opinion?
Lorente McCray is different to me. This is a guy who's going on his 7th season here in the NFL. If you have the honor to wear the C in that locker room, it means that you're a leader. You have some sort of influence on that team.
Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Stop selling your real estate if you want to build your wealth. Our team here at Hometown Realty specializes in helping homeowners with the difficult decision of selling it or renting it. Your home might make a great investment property. We'll break down the numbers and go over the pros and cons to help you make an informed decision. Right now, rents are at an all-time high and mortgages are at an all-time low. So if you have a home valued between $200,000 to $1 million, we invite you to talk to our team today about our sell it or rent it strategy. From securing a new tenant to full background screenings, Hometown Realty offers the most comprehensive sales and management services in the industry. Contact us today for your free Keep It or Sell It market analysis by texting WEALTH to 41404 or at hometownjax.com. Again, that's WEALTH to 41404 or at hometownjax.com.
I never knew my home would become my workplace. I never dreamed it would be my child's school. And I never imagined my home would be under attack from an invisible enemy called COVID-19. This is why I trust SafeTouch Security. It's one app that puts me in control. My SafeTouch system allows me to control who's on my property, movement while the kids are at home learning their school lessons, who I speak with without even opening the front door, as well as home deliveries, my heating and air conditioning, door locks, and complete protection against the threats of fire, burglary, and assault. You know, you can even have control over your car. Know you are safe with the most up-to-date security system from SafeTouch. SafeTouch Security has been doing what others can't for over 35 years. Reliable local monitoring. No other company comes close to SafeTouch's track record on guaranteed response times. Go to safetouch.com and find out how you can get zero down and free equipment with a lifetime warranty. That's safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
It doesn't matter how old we are. We all need love and support. Yet, teenagers who end up in foster care have a much harder time finding it, as nearly 82% of current foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. The good news is, you can positively impact a teen's life by becoming a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You don't have to be married or own a home. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. So if you've ever felt a calling to help youth, please take this opportunity to explore becoming a foster parent to a teen through Family Support Services. Teenagers may no longer be little, but they still need lots of love. Take the next step by visiting foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
The economic difficulties caused by the current pandemic is affecting the survival of local small businesses. Many have had to close or greatly reduce operations. How well prepared are you to gear back up once conditions begin to improve? Will there be enough working capital to do so? Take advantage of this time to participate in a SCORE webinar or meet virtually with a counselor to get some ideas on developing a business recovery strategy. Register for a webinar or schedule a confidential mentoring session at jacksonville.score.org.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. The Child Cancer Fund has teamed up once again with local organizations for a community initiative called Home Team JAGS. Together, this team provides world-class pediatric cancer care to local children battling cancer and invaluable resources to families all year long. In September, the Child Cancer Fund comes together to raise awareness for childhood cancer with other local organizations. To learn more about Home Team JAGS and its providers and partners, visit hometeamjags.org.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax and ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Yeah, I mean, CJ's was huge, obviously, in the first half. That was kind of the first play that turned the momentum around for us after those first couple of series, like I was alluding to. Got his first pick. Then he just threw the ball on the ground, so I had to go run back and grab it because I had to make sure he got that for his keepsake. Didn't want the Colts to steal it from him. But that was huge for our defense, kind of started to set the tone, like I said, in our turnaround. And then Dewey coming in. NFL is a next man up mentality. You always have to be ready. You always have to be able to go into the game and make the plays when they come your way. And he did a great job of that, obviously picking off Phillip there in a key, crucial moment for us, allowing our offense to go down and score some points.
I think that was Jaguars middle linebacker Joe Schobert there, talking about some big plays on defense. Obviously, C.J. Henderson getting his first pick of his career. And then Dewey, as you referred to him, talking about Wingard there, had an interception of his own. Literally, I think it was Josh Jones came out for a second. Wingard goes in and literally gets an interception, I think, on the next play. So props for that as well. And, you know, like I said, it's that bend but don't break mentality. Now, Phillip Rivers didn't do himself any favors, and it's the third time I repeated it. He had some stats to go with it. Mistakes that he made were disastrous for Phillip Rivers. He did not look like himself for whatever reason. Maybe got in that Jacksonville humidity a little bit and forgot how hot it was here. But regardless, two big interceptions for the Jacksonville Jaguars, momentum killers for the Colts. And that's what you need, right? Maintain the football, and you can't turn the ball over. And the Jaguars, for the most part, did that yesterday against the Colts. Let's go to the comment section really quick. The comment section's on fire, Kuz, to say the least. If you want to be part of the conversation as well, please call in *690 or 904-362-9901. You want to hang out? I'll hang out. We can talk Jaguars. We can talk whatever you want to. If you want to call in, call in. But a lot of people are asking me about my fight, how it went down in South Carolina. And we'll probably break that down later on in the show today just because we got to talk about the underdog first, right? We have to praise the underdog. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I was an underdog really going into the fight in South Carolina, but I did indeed win it. It was a first-round TKO. I have the belt. I don't have the belt on me. I had to give the belt back. They're going to customize it and then send it to me in 2 weeks, I hope. If not, there's going to be a road trip to Charleston, South Carolina, so I can get my belt that I worked so hard for. But until that time, it's on the shelf, hopefully getting customized with a bunch of cool things on it. But regardless of that, though, let's go to the comment section real quick. We also got Mr. Sunshine Rainbows walking in, too, so get ready for that. He's going to spew all his Sunshine Rainbows down your throats, so brace yourselves for that. But it says Gardner Minshew only threw for 170-something yards. Let's calm down a little bit. Listen, no, not going to calm down, and here's why. Yes, the stats, I mean, like I told Steven, you can go ahead and twist it however you want to in terms of records and in terms of stats, but here's what I saw. I saw a dynamic offense that featured a lot of different types of players. I saw a dynamic offense that spreads the ball around and gets guys open. And I saw Gardner Minshew look down his first guy and then throw it on to the second guy, okay? I saw Minshew take strides forward from his rookie year. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Minshew goes, and you should be excited as well. I don't care he only threw for 173 yards. The point is that the yards that he did have, they came off of fantastic decisions.
Don't tell me what went wrong yesterday after that.
There we go.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Did somebody pick that game? Somebody picked the Jags to win?
Here we go.
I have proof of that on TV.
Here we go.
I know I had him to cover.
I sent an email with our pick six stuff.
Did you? Okay, good. Just double checking.
Hard to be humble, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to be humble.
Hard to be humble.
Ty, I asked him. He said, "Dad, I was listening to this segment, and Austin called in, and he said, let me guess, Brent, you've got the Jags."
Yeah.
He was kind of making fun.
Yeah.
Let me guess, Brent.
Yeah.
I got the Jags.
Yep. How those other picks go for everybody, by the way? Coos, how those other picks go for everybody?
I guess I have to go back and look at those because I didn't.
Oh, my gosh. I was terrible on the picks. I'm in a survivor pool. Lost Philadelphia.
Ooh, you hate
Boom.
to see it. Well, I'll tell you what. Someone's taking straight dubs in our six-pack. Someone went 5-1 over the week, just to let you guys know.
Just a warning. Nobody cares in Jacksonville right now anyway.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter. Yeah. But I stink.
Oh, you're fine. I stink too. You see, I'm sweaty as well.
I just smelled myself as I walked in here, so sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I got home from golf, I showered, and then I went to leave, and it was like monsooning, and I was like, oh, what was the point of even showering?
Gosh, I hate the rain. I feel like we live in Seattle. Hey, what a win, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've talked about it. We're going to talk more about it. It's going to be a Minshew Monday here from here on out. Already is. But real quick thought. Here's my overriding thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a lot of thoughts, but my overriding thought is that might have been the most efficient, best, well-executed game plan I've seen from the Jacksonville Jaguars by an offensive coordinator in some time. Now,
off to a shaky start, though.
Yeah, but it's a caveat, okay? We have short memories when it comes to this stuff. Nathaniel Hackett had some really good games, and Bortles delivered in December of that year. And so I guess you got to go back to then. But I'm just thinking of the game plan and what they did with the efficiency and the economics of their 49 plays I think they ran. And to be able to get what they got out of those plays, to be able to do what you did with those plays, to be able to hit 10 different receivers on 19 completions. I mean, 19 out of 20. I mean, that's Phil Simms-esque, right, for Minshew. And, that's to me was like, wow. I mean, what – the thing that I liked about this football team more than the national guys or anything else is I like Minshew more than people like him.
Yeah.
And I like their offense more. The more you look at their offense, you're like, they do have some players on offense and guys that have played. The narrative's been they're young, but they do have some players.
And you also like Jay Gruden. You have to like Jay Gruden.
Well,
so far.
I don't know, right?
But his philosophy in the past,
his
you have
resume
to like that.
and everything else. And so what you're saying is, well, they didn't come out passing, right? We thought they'd come out passing. Well, I think what they did, and this is all credit to James Robinson and all the coaches that believed in James Robinson, at least for now, for 1 week, is that kid looked good. Mm-hmm. And so the Colts had to respect it. And so, therefore, it opened everything up. I didn't expect them to start out with run,
well,
pass,
I
or
don't think the Colts
did,
though, either. I mean, I don't think the Colts respected James Robinson in that opening drive. I think they're like, all right, Minshew's got to beat us here. It's Jay Gruden. It's quarterback friendly. We have to stack on these receivers. And James Robinson, who is this guy?
Yeah. I mean, listen, in reality, yesterday, for the Colts defense, did DeForest Buckner play? Did Darius Leonard play?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I heard Leonard's name once or twice. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure because I didn't watch the TV broadcast. We were there at the stadium. And so did DeForest Buckner play in that game? I mean, that was a huge acquisition for them. Mm-hmm. And so tip your cap to the offensive line of the Jags and the game planning and the scheme and the execution of it. This is a day to get carried away, right, with the Jags. And we'll get a little carried away. And we'll counter that a little bit, too, because it needs to be countered. And wins hide things, right? Mm-hmm. Wins hide warts. There were some warts in that game. There are some things that you should be concerned about in that game going forward. And by the way, there are things that you should expect to be not so great for the Jags based on the build of their roster. So there's all that going on with this football team. But, man, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you I sat here and believed. I basically picked the Jags because I did it way back when, right? When we did our schedule back.
Yeah.
I said the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl, but the Jags are going to beat them in the opening game. So I didn't waver. I stuck to my word.
did?
I'm not sure I fully believed it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Are the Colts still going to go in the Super Bowl?
I still think Dallas didn't look good. And I still think the Colts didn't look good. But that does not deter me from thinking they can make a run into a Super Bowl. You don't go to the Super Bowl in week 1 of the NFL.
Yeah, but you don't think Marlon Mack being off for the year is going to hurt them a little bit?
I think the Marlon Mack thing is really overblown. I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor, and Hines is a good player, man.
Yeah.
You take those two guys if you didn't have Mack all day. If you're going to get banged up for the Colts, that's a good spot to get banged up in, quite frankly.
No, I hear you. But Marlon Mack's can always been like, he's very dependable, right? Like, you lose him out for the season.
I'm not saying it helps.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to have injuries.
Sure.
And if you have injuries in depth positions.
No, I mean, that's a good spot to have an injury.
Yeah, and Rivers had his moments. I don't know what Rivers is. It's a fair question. I'm not saying I'm confident in Rivers to go to the Super Bowl after what I saw yesterday. He made some plays like he did last year that cost them games.
Yeah.
He cost them this game with some interceptions.
So we get to talk all about it for another couple hours. Thanks for being with us on a Monday. We want your thoughts. It's a Victory Monday. But here on ESPN 690, we call it a Minshew Monday.
Yeah.
It's all about Minshew here in Jacksonville. It's next on ESPN 690.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
We saved serious cash with our Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and used the money to buy a new boat.
Who's ready to water ski?
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big money with Progressive, but not enough for a new boat. They'll probably spend it on rent or gas money or maybe one of those little plastic wading pools for the yard.
Ahoy there!
Is what the captain might say. On the toy boat. In your wading pool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Back to school also means back to Friday night football. Get to the game style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable. Just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
It's the best offer ever at Diamonds Direct. 5 years, 0 interest financing. And this weekend, the focus is on Viraggio. Handcrafted in New York, Viraggio is the only bridal designer that allows you to truly personalize your ring from the inside out. We've flown in the entire Viraggio collection for this special event. So come and express your individual style this Friday and Saturday. Discover the Viraggio difference and enjoy 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
Coach Bruce Arians admitting today he was a little surprised by quarterback Tom Brady's struggles in his Tampa Bay debut. Arians called the game a great learning experience, though, in just round one of a 16-round fight. No worries about injuries for quarterback Cam Newton should the Patriots continue to rely on his legs. Newton, who's dealt with foot and shoulder injuries the last 2 years, had 15 rushing attempts yesterday, told WEEI he feels whatever you have to do to win games is what you have to do. Believes as long as he runs, takes care of himself, slides when he needs to, everything will be okay. Opposing teams cannot let Cam run, advises ESPN's Rex Ryan.
The thing about him, though, is this dude's a giant, and that's the thing about him. But you got to come, but your first priority is to make him throw. It sounds crazy, but that's going to be your first priority. Take away the run game.
Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, out much of last season with an injured elbow, returns against the Giants on Monday Night Football, 7:15 Eastern, ESPN TV, followed by the Titans and Broncos at 10:10 Eastern, second part of our doubleheader.
Check the clock. It's dinner time, baby. Go for Church's new Go Box tonight. Your choice of chicken, sides, and biscuits to feed 6 or more, starting at $20. What you waiting for? Church's, bringing that down-home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
What's like the concept?
It's like mini games that you kind of compete battle royale style, but it's mini games and you just try to, be the last one standing essentially.
Let me try this again. So what is the concept?
It'll be
English. English. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Oh, LaVisca's awesome, man. He's one of those guys. He plays receiver, but he runs the ball like a running back. And we just find ways to get the ball in his hands. Even the touchdown to DJ, that worked because they were worried about LaVisca catching the ball, and we were pumping down to him. I'm very excited for him. I think he's going to continue to work, continue to stay humble, and I think he's going to do really, really good things for us.
That is Gardner Minshew. And when Gardner Minshew wins in 2020 and the Jacksonville Jaguars get the dub, well, you know what time it is? It's Minshew time. Minshew magic, Minshew mania. We call it a Minshew Monday here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Get your bandanas out, your aviators. Show off the guns. You got the jorts on over there. Probably can't see them, everybody, but you got the jorts going.
I'm rocking jorts. Yeah, and I forgot the sleeveless T-shirt.
It's all right. I took care of that for you.
Yeah, you got
the
that.
guy with that should flex on this show is doing it.
For sure. But I figured, I might as well rock a Fleetwood Mac shirt because I like my Gardner Minshews to wear Fleetwood Mac shirts.
How about yesterday,
I'm
man?
sure he's into
He
them.
had Macho Man Savage yesterday.
Nice.
On the bandana.
Yeah.
What I need to do is get a little better bandana collection. Because if Minshew's going to keep this up, we're going to have a lot of Minshew Mondays.
You better
and so
believe
I
it.
need a bandana collection.
Yeah.
So welcome back, everybody. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. And by the way, thanks to the shrimp for helping my costume out.
Oh, I didn't even notice this. It's a Gardner Minshew shrimp.
Yeah. How about that?
Don't let my son see that. He's going to have a nightmare.
When did we do this last year? We had some leftovers. I can't find the mustache, though, anymore. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and I had a little.
They probably cleaned it.
Yeah, we probably might have thrown some of them out.
Did we do it during the offseason or during the season?
No, it was during the season. I think it might have been Halloween. I know I went to the Halloween store to buy some of the stuff.
We had that photo of you guys both Minshew'd out on Instagram.
Well, hey, get used to it. I've got more in my Minshew collection.
I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty standard for me, so I'm not hating it whatsoever. I seriously, I wore this exact same thing in Charleston after the fight.
You did?
Yeah. So, I was wearing my aviators, so the aviators are new, but I wore this pretty much exact, except I was wearing a Pink Floyd t-shirt, so it's all good.
Hey, congrats on the fight, man.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
We're going to talk more about it in a bit.
It's all good.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, let's get more into the Jags. All right, I know you already did, so I won't try to be repetitive. Just going to give you my side of it.
Just give us that sunshine and rainbows that you're so accustomed for, bro.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? This is my time to flex.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what I'm doing.
Literally.
All right,
figuratively speaking.
Here's the deal. Okay, this is the big thing I left there with. Outside of the game plan that I mentioned, obviously Minshew. You don't do what Minshew has done in 6 of his wins and other games and moments in game-winning fashion and just the moxie he has. And then put a performance together like this one. Some of the numbers, right? It's like he missed 4 passes in the last 2 openers, right? He's thrown 5 touchdowns last 2 openers. The last game last year, this first game this year, so his last 2 NFL games, he's thrown for like 500 yards with 6 touchdowns against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, he's made history a few times as a young QB in the league. Made history again yesterday with the 3 touchdowns and 95% completion rate. But why I do think Jay Gruden deserves a lot of credit, and I think a lot of guys on that offense deserve credit, I just don't think you do those things and you're bad. I just don't think that happens in the NFL. I think that's hard to do. The NFL is a hard league. And so he's got something in there. Again, that doesn't mean he's the quarterback for the next 12 years. It doesn't mean he's going to be one of these elite QBs we mention all the time. I don't know what it means, but you don't do that stuff. You have a one-off every now and again. Heck, sometimes guys even have 2 or 3 games in a row.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Blake, know. And it's like, the light's on, and then it fizzles away. This has been a little bit more steady and spread out to show us that Minshew's got something here. And we get to find out this year what exactly he has. I think that's awesome. That's the conversation in town. What is this guy?
Yeah.
Right? That's what they're asking themselves. Who is this guy? So Gardner Minshew, what a performance, man. I mean, he tried to tell everybody, we ain't tanking. We're working hard. He built his body up. He made great decisions, held on to the football. And, yeah, by the way, I'd like to see him throw the ball down the field a little bit more eventually. Eventually.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big part of the game plan. They didn't feel like they needed to. They did get the Chark penalty on one of those. They drew that, so that was good. And obviously the Keelan Cole ball's down the field, right? Yep. So they'll do more of that. I think they'll take their shots when they need to. And keep in mind, he was a tremendous deep ball thrower last year. So I'm not concerned about the deep ball game. I like that he put the ball in the middle of the field at times a little bit more. That was a question mark on mine. And he just didn't take unnecessary risks. I mean, this guy's fun to watch. He's a fun personality. And I don't know if he gets the credit for being a pretty good quarterback.
Well, and that's that Jay Gruden kind of philosophy where it's very quarterback friendly, a lot of short passes. We talked about that last week a little bit where I expect to see a lot of short passes. Now, I expect to see a lot more Chris Thompson. We don't really see a lot of Chris Thompson because obviously a receiving back in the backfield can help out your quarterback as well. And listen, and Steven kind of had this philosophy when he called in the show and he threw some records at me real quick with James Robinson and Gardner Minshew and threw some stats at me. I love the numbers and I love the stats, but I firmly believe you can find stats numbers for anybody, right? Yeah. I can find records right now that probably every Jaguar player broke yesterday.
Yeah, maybe.
But my point is, what I like about it is I see improvement. Like what I'm going off of right now is what my eyes tell me. What I'm going off of is what I know about the game of football. And what I know about the game of football is I saw Gardner Minshew yesterday take strides forward. I saw Gardner Minshew make veteran moves yesterday. And I saw an offense that seems to be tailor-made for what Gardner Minshew does well. Now, yeah, obviously he's got to throw in the deep ball. I'm sure we'll see some of that down the line a little more, maybe a little more play action, set up, maybe Conley or DJ Chark on a long go route. That will probably come eventually. But I'm just saying, from what I saw from the check downs, from the look downs, just from the comfort of the pocket, he's making progress, and that's all for me right now. That's what I want to see. The completion percentage is fantastic. You want to see him throw some more yards, probably over 300 would be awesome. But you know what? As long as he's making the strides to be a better quarterback, and at least after a week sample size of 1 week, we've seen that he's made better progress.
Listen, in his NFL career, he now has 24 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Guys are judged on that a lot. What's your ratio? He's 4-1. 4-1. I know he has some fumbles in his career, but he's 4-1. And he's 7-6 with a team that really most people think stinks. He's 7-6. I mean, it's you got to give the guy credit. You got to give the guy credit. We're talking more about Minshew. The other guy that deserves a lot of credit, and I said this going in, what's most important about this football team, at least in the early going, things that they talked about, and I'm talking they meaning Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone, what they told us they liked about the football team. Why are you doing some of these things? What are they doing were the questions the last couple of weeks. Leonard Fournette and Jan and whatever, Ronnie Harrison, these moves.
Yeah.
James Robinson? What? James Robinson? Who is this guy? We had the conversations. Are they the smartest guy in the room right now? Well, it's one game, and it's important to remind people it's one game. But damn it, we're going to talk about this one game because it was a good game and a good win and a good look, and they delivered. To me, I said it yesterday on Twitter, I hope Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone had a big cold one and a bologna sandwich yesterday because they have taken a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
And they've earned some of it along the way. Dave Caldwell's been here longer to earn more of it. But at least for a Sunday afternoon, they should feel pretty good. And part of the reason they should feel pretty good is because they didn't lie to us. They weren't making it up, at least after 1 week. Doug Marrone said he liked this team.
He did.
You could see why he likes this team. I think Jacksonville all of a sudden fell in love with that team and the resilience and kind of what he's talking about. You can see that. There's something to him, led by Minshew. They said they were better at the offensive line. You know what? That offensive line did a pretty good job yesterday. Opened up holes for James Robinson, had a couple of big a sack and a holding penalty. They weren't perfect, but they were pretty decent. They protected when they needed to protect. They were good on third downs. Not a lot of negative plays. They said they were better, and they were pretty good yesterday. They also said, James Robinson, wait till you see this guy. They basically said, wait until you see this guy. You'll see what we see. Well, James Robinson for a week was pretty damn good. And then the last part I'll say, and I could go on and on here because they've told us a lot over the last 4 months. But I think the last part I'll say is they spent all this time in the offseason trying to get better against the run, right? They got Joe Schobert. They moved Miles Jack into a better spot. They said, you know what, Josh Jones, he's better than Ronnie Harrison. That's what they told us. They said, you know why? Because he can stop the run. That's why. They got Chase on, who's better against the run than even Jan would be against the run. They tried to tell us guys like Gotsis, pretty good against the run. And we're like, God, yeah. Calais, Jalen you use, Boye you lose, all these people you lose, right? Over the Jan you're losing, all these guys. Well, I understand that Indy didn't necessarily force feed the run, and they got away from the run. But Jaguars did a good job against the run. This is a team that torched them for 200 last year.
Correct.
And they did a good job against the run. So I don't.
Well, okay, but let me ask you this now. Let me be a devil's advocate here. Okay. Thoughts about Taven Bryan yesterday?
I'm going to tell you about Taven Bryan because I asked about Taven Bryan to somebody, and I did not see much out of Taven Bryan. I didn't see where he was, but I was told, or some of the conversation was, people that maybe looked at him more closely said, you know what, he did a pretty good job. He didn't flash. He's not somebody that jumped across the screen, didn't go make a tackle for a loss, but he was teeing up blocks and doing his job.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no, the guy definitely showed great get off. And listen, he had a couple of plays where it's like, yeah, I mean, that play is because of Taven Bryan. But my point is, listen, regardless of what you think about Calais Campbell, because, I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. Right? You're saying all these moves that they've made, they've worked out, right? Ronnie Harrison being gone. Yeah, for a week. Well, I can also make an argument and say, well, if you keep Calais Campbell, are you even more confident right now because you're having essentially, the best run stopper according to Pro Football Focus last year still on your team.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And the answer to that would probably be yes.
Yeah.
Right? It would probably be yes. Yeah. Now, that was more of a business move. We acknowledged from the 15.
Correct.
That wasn't, we don't like you, Calais.
No,
that was more of a business move. And I think.
But it's still a move nonetheless.
We could ask every week that Calais Campbell the Jags would be better with Calais Campbell on the team. Yeah. I don't think there's any week that we would say no to that. I really don't. Mm-hmm. So. Do you agree with it? A lot of people don't. Did they have to clean cap? Did they get a pick? Yeah, but we still wish he was in Jacksonville. And I don't think there's anybody that doesn't believe that.
Well, see, and that's to me the one. Well, there's two big things. To me, it's Calais Campbell and it's also Yannick Ngakoue. Not so much that they can't replace Yannick Ngakoue because I think Chason eventually could do that. It's just for what you got for Yannick Ngakoue in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. But with that being said, though, listen. I watched that game on Sunday, and I didn't say, well, they missed Leonard Fournette, okay? I didn't watch that game on Sunday and say, well, they missed Ronnie Harrison. Now, in the beginning, there was a play where, I forgot who, I think
was it Jones?
I think it was Jones. It was down in the box, and he gave up outside contain a little bit, and it was like the first drive of the series, and gave up a contain. I'm like, well, maybe if Harrison was there or something, he would have got that, whatever. But regardless, Jones did a pretty dang good job. Now, hopefully he's healthy and ready to roll for the future. But to prove your point, I didn't sit there and say, well, they missed Ronnie Harrison, they missed Leonard Fournette. Now, I would like to see Leonard Fournette out of the I formation the very first play of the game with a fullback at his disposal, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and last one for me. When they got rid of Leonard, it was a head scratcher. Mm-hmm. When they and with nobody really back there, right? And then they divide Ozigbo, and they really like Ozigbo. One more person told me that they wish his hammy didn't go down. They think they have a pretty good 1-2 punch. So we'll see in a few weeks and see if they're right. But when it looked like, really, they got rid of Leonard for nothing? The bottom line is Ronnie Harrison, Leonard Fournette, Telvin Smith, Jalen Ramsey, all those moves, for whatever reason, okay? Mm-hmm. There has been no specific reason mentioned, but we kind of piece it all together and understand they were not the team-first guys that they were looking for. I mean, Marone punched it home yesterday, said, this is the closest I've been to a team since I've been a head coach. Mm-hmm. I mean, he likes the football team because of the moves they made. He believes in them, trusts them more, and is more comfortable with them because he thinks he knows what he's going to get. Well, that played off. That was a resilient bunch, man. You have to ask yourself the question. The way they moved up and down the field in the first quarter, the Colts did yesterday, if the Jags had those other guys, and not just those 3 or 4, but the makeup of the last couple years, do they fold their tent? Are they as resilient? Do they answer the bell? Do they end blown out 30-10 because they're jawing at each other?
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of that? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. That's a little unfair.
Well, you have to ask yourselves, do you have the coaching culture to get that out of your players to be successful?
Yeah.
Right? Because I compared it like this. So I watched a lot of the Seahawks-Falcons game. Jamal Adams, man, I don't know if you watched the game or not. Jamal Adams was a difference maker. Jamal Adams was a game changer at the safety position. Okay, now I can make an argument and say, well, Jamal Adams wasn't a team-first guy in New York,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Well, he goes to Seattle where they obviously have a culture in place, and Jamal Adams single-handedly put the Seahawks defense back on the map. He had a fantastic. I don't even know his stats. I just saw the guy was everywhere on the field. But my point is, if you have that buildup, if you have that culture to bring out those guys, then by all means do it. Because you know why? One of those guys could make the difference between being a mediocre team and being a special team.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that culture, then you can't keep them on.
I get it. And listen, I'm not, we've had these discussions. Yeah. I think you need some of those guys.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to make those guys work. Yeah. But you also have to rip the Band-Aid off and start over sometimes because you just don't have the right mix. Mm-hmm. And I think for a game, we saw, all right, We believe that this team showed a little guts, showed a little moxie, didn't go pout in the corner, didn't point fingers. You could tell they like each other. This win was big. They kind of said, you watch. It wasn't just Doug and Dave that said, let us play. It was the team that said, let us play. You think we're tanking? Look what we have. It was a tremendous performance. I mean, it really was. It was a big, big win. They haven't won in Jacksonville to open the year since 2011. They were an 8-point dog at home. Phillip Rivers and Frank Reich had such disrespect for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Instead of kicking a field goal on the road, a gimme to go up 10-0, which every team in the NFL does, they went for it. They went for it on their own 40. And they got it, by the way. They went for it, I think, on their own 39 one time. And I think they got that one, too. Yeah. But they were just like, this team's a JV team. We're going to toy with them. And you know what they did for a bit? And again, this does not make the Jaguars perfect. Jaguars have a lot of warts still. But for a week to see the moxie and toughness and mental toughness of a team that I think's played pretty soft over the years from a mental standpoint was impressive. And so, again, my point in this is Doug Marrone said these things. And I think the team played to what Doug told us, at least for a week. They're not going 16-0. You know, they're not going to always do it right.
Yeah.
But it was a likable football team to watch, and it was almost to the point where, listen, I don't know how the NFL works. Phillip Rivers might come down here and score and go up 27-24 and win the game. But you still almost had an appreciation for the way the Jags played, especially given the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They got better throughout the game from first quarter to fourth quarter.
They played inspired football. You know, they played like a team who was reading the headlines saying they're going to tank, and they did something about it. Real quick, Jamal Adams. So 12 tackles, 1 sack, and 2.5 tackles for loss.
Oh, he played.
Yeah, so he had a heck of a game. But like I said, I mean, once again, I think they found a special guy now in Seattle. I broke this down when you're driving here, but this is why I'm excited for the Titans game. Because we saw a team Sunday come out against the Colts, play inspired football, play against a team that was supposed to crush them, play against a team who was supposed to pound them in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and they played inspired. I'm excited for the Titans game now because, for the most part, we expect what the Titans are going to do.
Yeah.
Okay? They're going to play that Titans brand of football. And let's be honest, if you're the Jaguars, you have to bring your hard hat, your lunch pill, and all that cliche type of stuff. But to me, we're about to find out exactly what type of team this Jaguars team is, because if they can hang with the Titans, and if they can match them pound for pound, let's just say, well, you might have something special.
Yeah, it's a great point. And we'll obviously talk a lot about the Titans game. And I think you said something important there. See, I don't think the Jags are going to beat the Titans this week. I really don't. I mean, I picked the Jags to win yesterday, and I'm not sure I really believed it. But I don't believe at this point, and I might change my mind. Who knows? I got the chance to do that in 5 more days.
Yeah, let's see how the Titans play tonight as well.
Yeah, we could. That's right. I think the Titans are going to beat them. But you said something interesting. If they could hang with them. Keep in mind, this team in the last couple of years has hardly been able to tackle them.
Yeah.
Forget about hang with them. They can't even tackle them. It's like they hit the mercy button at times and said, okay, we'll call off the dogs.
Well, now keep in mind,
we're going to bench Henry now, okay?
Exactly.
So you don't have to tackle him anymore.
Keep in mind, last year, the Thursday night game, the Jaguars provided they were really good.
They did,
but that was a Calais Campbell game. Remember, that was a game Calais Campbell absolutely went off
he
with
was
all his stats.
Tremendous. They did win that. Listen, they've snuck one here or there, but
it was
overall.
one. Yeah, overall.
It would go a long way on the road. First time this team has gone on the road, given this climate, no fans, all that stuff. So it'll be interesting. We'll talk more about the Tennessee game, but I think you bring up a good point. By the way, we're getting a couple of thoughts in here, and they love the look. Well, thank you very much. Need a mustache, Eric? I know. I can't. I thought I had one in here.
And I'm not going to shave this beard, sorry.
And I'm not growing a mustache. We're just going to tape that one on. Tom says, nice win, but only one win. Relax. Also, Prince of Kings says, unpopular opinion coming up. It's been one game. Settle down. It's a Minshew Monday here on ESPN 690, and that means the Jags won. And I understand it's one game, but you can have your one game crap the rest of the week. We're going to talk about a game that the Jaguars show promise. We hammer them for being tanking and getting rid of players, rebuilding the roster again. We spent 6 months doing that. We spent pretty much 11 out of the 12 years I've been in town talking about how bad they are.
Yeah.
If the Jags win and they surprise everybody in the NFL, we're going to talk about it like they're going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, Kuz, here's what I want from you, man. I want you to get a soundbite of the Kool-Aid Man going, oh, yeah, because Brent's reminded me of the Kool-Aid Man because he's drinking a lot of Kool-Aid. He's handing out to everybody to enjoy as well. You become the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard better, but not bad, not bad. But, I mean, yeah, you're kind of the
I
Kool-Aid
didn't go
man.
all in on that.
I know you didn't.
Nah,
no,
I didn't.
I get you were out there, and then the sun today, it's hot. I understand.
I had Chip drink a Diet Coke, and I thought my voice was going to crack.
We don't want that.
All right, hey, couple other things for now. We'll talk more about it. The warts, we're going to talk about the warts a little bit. This defense is still, listen, I said to somebody in the press box, I said, you know what? I don't think their pass defense is going to be very good. I don't. I want to see if they can stop the run because they told us and they built all offseason trying to get better against the run. And quite frankly, you could not get worse than last year. So it's almost like if they give up 350 yards passing, I'm almost like okay with that because they haven't promised us that they're going to be great against the pass. The defenses of the last couple of years with Boye and Ramsey and all these pass rushers, that was basically a promise that we're going to be good against the pass and we're going to create turnovers and we're going to sack you like Saxonville did. So they're not promising us that. They never told us that. The roster probably isn't good enough for that. But if you can tell us that you're going to stop the run and you stop the run, well, you know what? I know you're not ready to win the Super Bowl here. Your roster's not complete. If you at least are respectable and not embarrassed like they were in the first 10 minutes, I can deal with that, I guess is my point. So we'll talk about some of the warts. I want to go ahead. Get a thought on it.
No, and I was going to say, too, they gave up a lot of passing yards, and that was kind of expected, right? Very young secondary. But we got to ask ourselves, what did it look like when they did, right? There's a lot of guys getting wide open. There weren't a lot of Jaguars defenders, even in the vicinity when the ball was caught. See, that makes me nervous because I don't think it's more necessarily of, oh, wow, this guy's getting outmanned. That's not the case. I just think there's some miscommunications out there of guys getting wide open. You don't want to see that.
Well, in a young secondary, I think you might have that. Sure. It's so hard to tell. By the way, I did not think DJ Hayden played a great football game. I don't know because I'm not watching the tape back, and it's hard to tell on the nickel sometimes. But he looked like he was in chase mode to me a lot. He had the big penalty too, but he even looked like he was in chase mode a lot. So
especially the guy who has to be the leader of that secondary.
Is he making up for somebody's mistake, or is that his mistake? I don't know. That's the problem. But listen, I do think Phillip Rivers has been in this league a long time. He, like the Bradys and everybody else, is going to create matchup problems. He's going to pick you apart. And do keep this in mind, he has been with Gus Bradley in L.A. for the last 2 years. He knows how to beat this scheme. He knows, And so the credit I give to that defense is they made plays, man. That's the other positive. Again, we'll bring up some of the warts and are we missing things that were hidden by a win in just a bit. But man, I've been around here for so long now, and every game you listen to a presser like on the Monday after, and it's like, wow, if we had just made those 3 plays. Usually comes down to a few plays. If we had just made 2 of the plays or 3 of the plays. Well, the Jaguars made those plays yesterday.
Yeah.
They made those plays. The pick by Wingard, the pick by C.J. Henderson, the stuff on 4th down. The Colts didn't make those plays. That veteran team that's supposed to be a front runner in the AFC, led by Phillip Rivers, didn't make the plays. 2 picks, some costly mistakes. And even drops by T.Y. Hilton. Oh, yeah. Veteran guys that didn't make plays. How about for once the Jaguars in a few critical plays in a game, and they're the ones that made them instead of messed up.
Of course, yeah, and obviously didn't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you can win the turnover battle, you got a shot. And yesterday, the Jaguars got that shot.
Well, and I guess that's one thing I also didn't say about Marrone, where he didn't lie to us. He said they're going to play cleaner football. Yeah. He thought they coached up the penalties and everything else better. They did. They had a couple big penalties now.
Yeah.
But they played cleaner football from a penalty standpoint and also from a turnover standpoint, like you just mentioned.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot to like. A lot to like from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there are some things not to like. What are we missing here, right? Let's not go all crazy, although I kind of like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what's hidden here? What are the hidden flaws of this football team that could be exposed as we go along in week 2 and 3 and 4 a little bit more, including that pass defense and giving up big chunks of yards?
Also got to start getting some sacks, right?
Well, that might be one of them.
Yeah.
Also, FSU at 4. We'll talk about them. Oh, boy, what went wrong? There's a long list there. So we'll get a little bit of that. We still got some NFL chatter to get to as well. I want to hear more about Austin's fight. A good day at the Dream 18. Thanks for hanging out with us. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. It's a Minshew Monday on ESPN 690.
Oh, yeah.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Today, tracking partly sunny skies with scattered showers and embedded thunderstorms moving inland in the afternoon and evening with a high near 90, dipping into the lower 70s tonight with cloudy skies and a few lingering rain showers. And we're going to be tracking off and on rain showers with isolated storms for your Tuesday with a high of 88. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjak.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Hurry! It's the last time you'll get 5 years, 0 interest this year.
It's a busy time right now as the kids head back to school. COVID-19 is still lingering and flu season is right around the corner. Clean air and home comfort have never been more important. Clean air equals healthier air. Your friends at Bold City Heating and Air offer duct sanitation and air purification, meaning not only will your Bold City Heating and Air be chilly cold, but also free of any microbacteria or nasty viruses that may try to make your home their home. Never fear what you can't see again. For only $499, a Bold City Heating and Air sanitation and purification package will give you peace of mind knowing your family is breathing fresh, clean air. Let the team at Bold City Heating and Air take care of your air and comfort. Be bold with COVID and flu season and sanitize your ducts for only $499. Simply with a call to Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. That's 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. Bold City Heating and Air. Be bold and stay cold.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. Don't miss the hottest deal of the year. For September, we're going back in time to 16 years ago. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. Give us a call at Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less. 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
When you shop the 904, you're helping local businesses right here on the First Coast. Most of the money stays right here in our community. Plus, local businesses give our community its uniqueness and character that makes living on the First Coast so great.
Shop the 904!
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nobody gives back like Diamonds Direct. That's right, it's back. Our most popular offer, 5 years, 0 interest financing. September is the time to buy at Diamonds Direct. Get the best price, plus spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And every purchase made in September will benefit No Kid Hungry's mission to end childhood hunger right here in our community. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give at Diamonds Direct on approved credit. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Are you ready for a new ride? Then your wait is over. It's the Today's the Day sales event, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Today's the day for you to drive away from Arlington one really happy customer in your brand new Toyota. That's because you'll get 0% for 60 months on all new 2020 Camrys, Corollas, and RAV4s. 0%. How about getting a new Toyota Plus, no payments for 90 days? Today's the day because that's exactly what you'll get at Arlington. And did I mention 2 years of free maintenance? Yes. Today's the day you get your new Toyota at Arlington plus 2 years of free maintenance. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Today is most definitely the day to get the Toyota you really want at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. Today is the day for full details.
You're pregnant. How far?
1 month, 2. No doctor yet. I can't afford it.
Protect yourself and your baby. The health department can help you out. Test for STDs.
I don't have diseases.
You don't know. You don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your baby sick.
I don't want my baby sick.
No one cares more about your baby than you.
I'm calling my county health department.
A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
The current coronavirus outbreak has caused difficulties for many of our area's small businesses. From losing customers to falling behind in payments, business owners need help. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to help. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. We are currently mentoring virtually and identifying possible financial assistance through the SBA and other resources. Visit jacksonville.score.org for links with more information.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
Happy Victory Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jacksonville Jaguars youth movement showed up and showed out yesterday in front of a less than capacity crowd at TIAA Bank Field, where Duval ruined Old Man River's first game as a Colt. Jags won 27-20. Gardner Minshew loves the team chemistry.
Yeah, I think one of the things that served us well today is that we all have so much belief in each other. You know, whether it's me and them or them and me. I think when you have that, you can trust people to do their jobs, and you know, everybody can focus on their own. And I'm really proud of how we played. I really think that you know, we're just scratching the surface.
And other games of note, Tom Brady and the Bucs lost in his debut, which he threw a pair of picks. His old team, the Pats, picked up a W against the Dolphins. The Packers won, and the football team with no name came from behind to win their game. If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports JAGS on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
It's gonna be alright. Ooh,
Give me some of that going on, Minshew.
Oh, yeah, it's a Minshew Monday here on ESPN 690. If you're checking out the video feeds, we've dressed up for the occasion on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. By the way, saw someone today at the Action Sports Jax Stream 18 tournament. Watches on Twitch.
Yeah.
Apparently,
was he 10?
That's where Ty watches
as
really?
Well. Twitch is where it's at, huh?
No, you know who it was, actually? It was remember we had Evan Moore on?
Yeah.
It was his older brother.
Okay.
that's where he watches.
I like him, man.
On Twitch.
Reaching all the masses.
Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos on a Monday. Jags win 27-20.
Shout out to Josh P. for saying that Austin looks like he belongs in Electric Mayhem. I saw that comment. I couldn't help but laugh at it, man. Shout out to the Muppets. And that's probably the comment of the day for me.
I assume that was a wrestling team.
Some kind of movie. Oh, I thought they were talking like some kind of old school movie. Oh, Electric Mayhem. Oh, yeah. The Muppets, man. Shout out to Zoot, by the way. He was my favorite member of Electric Mayhem. Obviously, he was a saxophone player. I was a saxophone player. So shout out to Zoot. Do you know who Zoot is, Brent? He's blue.
Yeah, not a big Muppet guy.
He's light blue. Kind of I think like a Carolina blue, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, a lot of positive stuff, right? You talked about a lot of positives. Heck yeah, I talked about a lot of positive stuff in the first 40 minutes for the Jacksonville Jaguars since I've arrived on a Minshew Monday. And I think it's at least, this is what I try to counter all the positive stuff in the win, even though I don't think we have to do much of that. Why not? Enjoy the win. I mean, it's still 24 hours, right? Just about. We can enjoy this win around here. It was so unexpected. We've been many a Mondays to start the season or any time in a season where it hasn't been that fun. This is fun. And by the way, you mentioned Tennessee, and we'll talk about much more about Tennessee as the week goes along, as we've already indicated. But just put this in your mind. If the Jaguars do beat Tennessee, just if, it totally changes this season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, totally. Just allow yourself to think about this for a moment. If they were to beat Tennessee and stun the Titans next week in Nashville, they would be 2-0 against the division. They would be 2-0 on the season. And at least on paper, they would then welcome the Dolphins, play against the Bengals, play against Houston, who knows what they'll look like in a few weeks, and play against Detroit. And again, the Jags can lose all 4 of those games. But you would at least like it just changes how you would think about things. See, right now, this is such a big win for the Jags because the idea was to get to the bye week 3-3. If you can do that because you got some gettable games. You get some games that you think you can compete. They're not the Green Bays and Minnesotas of the world that look tough, or even the Ravens or Kansas City. It's not those kind of games.
Correct.
But these first 2 were difficult. And so the fact that they split and won, at least split, and won this one, and then you have those games coming up. If they could win 2 out of 3 against Miami, Cincy, and Detroit, well, now you're 3-3 at worst going into the bye, and you feel okay. So that's important because later in the season it gets much, much more difficult on paper. So that's a little bit of the context of it. But let's counter, okay, and say what did the win hide? What did Phillip Rivers' mistakes and maybe the too gutsy of a call on 4th and 2 hide? Was this a mirage? Was this the Jaguars got lucky? Was this, look out, it could be a long season in a lot of different areas? And I guess the first eyesore is some of these explosive plays. When you were playing, how many explosive plays a coach would write on the board is my guess, right?
Yeah.
The game plan and goals for the week. And do you remember it all from the run game to pass game in totality? How many explosive plays you'd be like, okay, we can deal with that? 3? Not on a drive, right?
No. 3 total.
I mean,
usually you'd go like 3, total. Like then you can go like, can't give up 3 run if it's like against a running team, or 3. I mean, because for instance, the definition of an explosive play is different, right? Like an explosive play, I think in a pass is like over 15.
I think it's over 15.
I mean, some teams you can call it different.
Might be over 13. And what's on a run then?
10.
Okay.
I mean, at least that's what we classify as explosive.
Right? But somewhere, let's just say over 10 on a run and over 15 maybe on a pass.
Sure.
Well, the Jaguars on the second drive after being down 7-0, and actually they moved the ball well, and then Linder's penalty really hurt that second drive they had.
Yeah.
The second drive for the Chargers, they went 18 yards, 19 yards, 18 yards before they ended up getting shut down near the goal line.
Correct.
On the fourth down. I mean, that was 3 plays in a row. In a row. They were picking up chunks. So was that Rivers? Was that some early miscommunication? We haven't had a preseason. There's a lot of ways to think about it. There's a lot of excuses you could give the team, and really all teams, because everybody has some issues in the early going of the year. But I would say a big concern they had to have, I didn't count them up because it got better. I was about to count it up, but it got better for the Jags defense. But the explosive play count had to be pretty strong yesterday for the Colts.
Yeah. So
did I say the Chargers already? Did I already put Phillip Rivers back on the Chargers?
You might have.
I might have.
Yeah. Well,
he plays for the Colts.
Yeah, he plays for the Colts. Listen, I opened the show with this. There was a lot of explosive plays to go around, and it seemed like maybe guys were in the right position, but like the Colts made it look way too easy, right? And when that game started out and they score right away, I'm like, oh, there's the old Jaguars defense. Welcome back, guys. We missed you. Like, that's what I expected. But then as the game went on, like, they were able to kind of hold their own a little bit. With that being said, though, I didn't take any of those explosive plays, Brent, and said, like, that's the one that like was the nail in the coffin, right? Like, yeah, there are plays where it's like, well, that's easy. But, like, not one, like, long touchdown where it's like, oh, well, there goes the game. Like, that's why coaches always try to limit explosive plays, because low explosive plays are momentum changers, especially when we have a crowd involved too sometimes, right? The crowd wasn't there. But I'm saying explosive plays can turn the whole momentum around. It can make Mr. Momentum change addresses, if you will. Well, to me in that game, that didn't really happen. Now, yeah, you gave up a lot of big plays, a lot of easy plays, but never during that game where I'm like, well, the Jaguars have lost this now. Like, there goes that momentum. So I liked that. I like the bend but don't break mentality. Mel Tucker swore by this mentality, right?
Because, by the way, the Chiefs have sworn by that over the last couple of years.
Of course.
Now, they have an offense that's going to score 40. But
exactly, that helps you out, too, as well, for sure. So I like the fact that they didn't break. I like the fact that of all those explosive plays, which was a lot of them, I didn't leave thinking, like, well, that was the one that really caught, like, swung the game around. It didn't. But what makes me nervous, and I talked about this a little bit already, but what made me like leaving, like, man, you guys better clean that up a little bit, is the fact that it seemed like guys weren't in the right place.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have a young team, sure, that's going to happen. But going forward, you can't afford to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we give enough credit sometimes to coaching and all that, because Reich and the Colts, according to Joe Schobert in his postgame, basically showed some looks that they hadn't seen on tape. And so, therefore, you've got all these young guys, right? I mean, it's
any
feasible.
team's going to do.
And by the way, you're also you have young guys, and you're playing a guy that's been in the league for 17 years.
Sure,
right? So he's going to put them. I just think it's a little mismatch from a mind game standpoint, but they got better at it. My big point about the Jags defense is they got better as the game went along. It was an ugly start, but they got better.
Well, and they made some halftime adjustments, which in the past was like their Achilles heel. It seemed like on defense.
I actually thought at the end of the day. And I don't know where you put Wash, because they gave up so many yards, and people don't like Wash, and you'll yell at me if I give him any credit. But let's just say in totality, and specifically Gruden and Marrone, I thought the Jags outcoached the Colts. Is that a little too far?
No. I mean, listen, I think the Colts did a pretty good job of shutting down the run, too, in the second half. Right? I mean,
they made an adjustment, too.
They made some corrections there.
It was interesting, right? Robinson, they didn't have the plays, or it didn't seem like he could get in a rhythm. They had 3 and out early on.
Yeah.
And then they tried to throw the ball, and it worked, I think, as a field goal drive, the second drive. So they really didn't involve Robinson.
Yeah.
So it was hard to tell, did they shut down the run, or did it just not fit at the time in the offense?
So I think the Jaguars had the better game plan. I think they, kind of outcoached the Colts, if you will, a little bit. But I'm going to say this, though. And, it's Frank Reich, right?
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich, yeah. So with him, I mean, listen, he's an offensive genius, and I'll give him all the credit in the world. But to me, it seems like Phillip Rivers was calling that game more than Reich was. And the reason I say is this, because how that game was starting to shake out, especially in the first half, even some a little bit in the second half, was exactly how it shook out against the Chargers last year here in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Remember how they started getting Austin Eckler going in the pass game a little bit? Well, Nyheim Hines had a pretty good day. And then all of a sudden after Eckler, then came Hunter Henry. Well, Jack Doyle started going a little bit. Like, to me, it was the exact same game plan that Phillip Rivers had last year with the Chargers here in Jacksonville. And guess what? That game plan worked great. It seemed like wherever he went, he was going to have success. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, so I was gonna say, so I got that feeling oh, here we go again. Here comes Eckler, here comes Eckler or Nyheim Hines or Jonathan Taylor, and then go back to Jack Doyle and then T.Y. Hilton or Keenan Allen, right? It had all the variables to be the exact same performance as it was last year against the Chargers. But then I think that Phillip Rivers got a little too cocky. I think he got a little too confident. They didn't go back to their basics of running the football, play action, things like that. And Phillip Rivers threw his 2 interceptions, and they're detrimental to the win.
Yeah, obviously. I'm going to ask you a little bit later on the week about the screenplay. That's a little bit of a talk as well. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't stop the screen. We saw a good screen by the Jaguars.
We didn't see a screen.
James Robinson. How about the hurdle?
We didn't see a screen. Oh, man.
Hey, 2 quick things, okay? Watch out. Yeah. Jags didn't show much of a pass rush. That is maybe the best offensive line in football, people say. We'll see. But they didn't show much of one. A couple of hits on the QB. Miles Jack got to a little bit, but not much. I thought we'd see a little bit more there.
And that was also kind of this. I mean, listen, that was a great hit by Miles Jack. Yeah. But I'm talking about the one with Jacoby Brissett, too.
Oh, that was a great play.
Yeah.
Great play, yeah. But I think it was Minshew and Rivers got rid of the ball in 2.34 seconds, according to Next Gen Stats. They were tied on the day. Boom, 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 boom. Hard to get to the QB.
It's good.
Right?
Yeah.
The other concern is the depth in the secondary. Jared Wilson is hurting right now.
Yeah.
Josh Jones was banged up and played through it. C.J. Henderson for a time went out, though I thought Claypool did a nice job, and they didn't pick on him too much and couldn't pick on him too much. But it's going to stress their depth. And the Jaguars actually already...
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing you are.
Go ahead. Sidney Jones, right?
Yep, Sidney Jones has been promoted to the active roster.
Yeah.
And placed safety Jared Wilson on the reserve injured list.
Oh, so they did do that. I didn't see that part of it.
Correct.
So they did put him on the reserve list.
Yep.
Okay.
The reserve injured list.
Which means he could miss for a few games if I'm seeing the right list. So that's a big story then.
And then they've also signed Josh Nurse and Craig Reynolds to the practice squad and released rookie Amari Henderson.
Okay, so they have to clean. The secondary is a problem now.
Yes.
That's a little bit of a concern, but it might not be against the Titans. They're not going to throw it all over the yard.
The one thing that concerns you, though, is A.J. Brown, right? And A.J. Brown out of the slot, where usually you put Hayden on him. Well, Hayden didn't have his best game. We both agree, against the Colts here. So he's got to step it up a little bit.
Okay, well, they're going to take their lumps in the passing game. I believe it. I do think so. It's Jared Wilson, by the way, didn't miss a snap all last year. Week 1, he got out of there.
Sure, but here's the thing, Brent. We both know this. Jaguars fans have to know this. Your secondary right now, they're young, and they're going to take your lumps like you just said. That's where that pass rush comes in. It works hand in hand. If you have a good pass rush, if Josh Allen, if Chason, if Smoot can get after the quarterback a little bit, that makes things so much easier on the back end of the secondary.
All right, quick little FSU at 4. Let's get to Mike Norvell. Oof.
Of course, again, there were a handful of opportunities that, I think that James was seeing the right things, and whether it's one issue, the other at a different position, that kind of forced him to hesitate. But then there were times that that he missed an opportunity, or has to continue to work to get his eyes in the right place. But all in all, that was across the board. I don't think when you look at our offense in general, the consistency didn't really show up at any position. We had a lot of quite a few mistakes that showed up in critical situations, and we had the handful of turnovers. We had a couple guys that go down, had to play a lot of different players along the offensive front. It's just it was a challenge throughout the game to get that rhythm and momentum going. But at the end of the day, it should come down to just one play, and that's what we have to do a better job of just focusing on the next play, going out there to execute to the best of our ability, and we'll be able to overcome some of those situations.
Was that the entire press conference?
Might have been.
Got him.
Mike Norvell, FSU coach. They're not laughing in Tallahassee.
No.
Obviously, ESPN 690, our official home of Florida State football and basketball. And it sounded good, by the way, on Saturday. Gene Deckerhoff. It looked good early on. I was getting excited for Noles fans, and wow, okay, you can see the attention to detail. And, man, did it collapse. I mean, to lose to Georgia Tech, congrats to Jeff Sims, by the way, from Sandalwood High School. He looks the part. That whole thing where Mike Norvell and Florida State basically parted ways with Sims. He goes to Georgia Tech and beats him in the opener. Yeah. I mean, right now, the negativity we talk about with the Jags? The Noles have it. I mean, they've lost 4 openers in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't turn the tide. And it's early for Mike Norvell. I still think Mike Norvell is going to be good. The problem is their offensive line is not, and it got beat up again. It got injured. And James Blackman, let's just be honest, he's been through a lot. He's not a good football. He's not a good enough football player. He's too inconsistent at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Florida State comes out hot the gate with scripted plays, and you saw, all right, well, James Blackman throws a touchdown, not bad, okay. I was intrigued, and I was watching this because it got a little bit delayed, so I was in the locker room before my fight, watched this transpire, and I was like, okay, this is a new Florida State team, a new offense. The scripted plays look nice, but then beg the question, what happens when the script goes out the door, right? What happens now when you have to call the game based off flow and not what you had on the chalkboard? And that's where it all fell apart. Now, from the offensive side, yeah, you had injuries on the offensive line. I get that. But the next guy up's got to step up, okay? And it seems like
I've been trying that for 5 years on the O-line.
I was just going to say, so for the past 5 years, it seems like the O-line has been the biggest problem, and it definitely has. On the defensive side of the ball is where I'm scratching my head right now. And you can blame Norvell, you can blame the coach, but here's my problem, okay? Jeff Sims might be the reincarnation of Mike Vick, might be the reincarnation of Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. But I do know one thing. He's a first-year quarterback, playing in his first game. A true freshman. So when you play off coverage, when you don't force Jeff Sims to beat you, that's an issue, man. Now, yeah, he started out a little shaky, right? He might have been a little nervous, things like that. But then go for the throat, man. Like, make him beat you. Don't play soft coverages and be like, all right, well, he can dink here and dunk here. No, man. Like, to me, either you're all in or you're all out. And I saw a Florida State team on defense that was not all in, not from the players' perspective, but also from the play calling and coach's philosophy on that defense as well.
And by the way, they have talent on that side of the ball. They have talent on that side of the ball to go up and down the field like Georgia Tech did. That was surprising.
Oh, yeah. And listen, all I'm going to say is if you have those athletes like you do on defense, who's supposed to be a pretty good defense this year, if you have the athletes to make plays, let them make the plays. Let them dictate the tempo. Don't play back and kind of be at Georgia Tech's mercy, especially with the freshman quarterback. What are we doing?
FSU, a long way to go. No doubt about it. And that was evidence once again on Saturday of that. When we come back, the Jaguars rookies don't look like rookies. What do you think of some of those guys? We talk more about the Jags' big win, 27-20. It's next. Final hour. It's a Minshew Monday on ESPN 690.
Stop selling your real estate if you want to build your wealth. Our team here at Hometown Realty specializes in helping homeowners with the difficult decision of selling it or renting it. Your home might make a great investment property. We'll break down the numbers and go over the pros and cons to help you make an informed decision. Right now, rents are at an all-time high and mortgages are at an all-time low. So if you have a home valued between $200,000 to $1 million, we invite you to talk to our team today about our sell it or rent it strategy. From securing a new tenant to full background screenings, Hometown Realty offers the most comprehensive sales and management services in the industry. Contact us today for your free Keep It or Sell It market analysis by texting WEALTH to 41404 or at hometownjax.com. Again, that's WEALTH to 41404 or at hometownjax.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know where the full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Hey folks, Dave Benyon here with Zerez. Can you believe that it has been 16 years since we started our little business? It has been wonderful meeting and serving all the good people of Jacksonville. My wife and I got into Zerorez because of the amazing powered water technology that set them apart from all the other carpet cleaners. Powered water has proven to be very effective over the years at cleaning carpets, tile, upholstery, rugs, and more. Zerorez is also proactive at developing and testing new equipment to provide the very best cleaning results possible. It's fun to be part of a company that is always trying to get better. For September, we are going back to our original price from 16 years ago. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. That's the hottest price of the year on carpet. So give us a call at 287-5727. Zerorez spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerorez.
It's the best offer ever at Diamonds Direct. 5 years, 0 interest financing. And this weekend, the focus is on Viraggio. Handcrafted in New York, Viraggio is the only bridal designer that allows you to truly personalize your ring from the inside out. We've flown in the entire Viraggio collection for this special event. So come and express your individual style this Friday and Saturday. Discover the Viraggio difference and enjoy 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
I never knew my home would become my workplace. I never dreamed it would be my child's school. And I never imagined my home would be under attack from an invisible enemy called COVID-19. This is why I trust SafeTouch Security. It's one app that puts me in control. My SafeTouch system allows me to control who's on my property, movement while the kids are at home learning their school lessons, who I speak with without even opening the front door, as well as home deliveries, my heating and air conditioning, door locks, and complete protection against the threats of fire, burglary, and assault. You know, you can even have control over your car. Know you are safe with the most up-to-date security system from SafeTouch. SafeTouch Security has been doing what others can't for over 35 years. Reliable local monitoring. No other company comes close to SafeTouch's track record on guaranteed response times. Go to safetouch.com and find out how you can get 0 down and free equipment with a lifetime warranty. That's safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at a Fields Auto Group location in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He signs the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
15 to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown to Mario Terry. He is scary. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line.
Noles win. Noles win. Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long. Right here on your home for Florida State football.
Right here on ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
It felt good. It was a great play. Studied hard all week, and I was prepared for it. So nothing I did today was a surprise to me. But I got a lot to work on, so get started on that. I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm here to prove myself right. And I don't worry about what other people have to say, because that affect the way I play.
That is C.J. Henderson. What a performance in his NFL debut. Listen, it was a lukewarm pick at number 9. If that was the temperature, I would say, for the Jags fan base, I'm not going to lie, it was a temperature for me. Mm-hmm. I think it was a temperature for even people who watched him week in, week out for the Florida Gators. Teams started to really like him late in the draft process and started to climb more boards. And what's his name? The Ohio State kid?
Oh,
Detroit took him?
Jeff Okudah.
Okudah. Yeah. So, but some people said, hey, wait a minute now. I remember on draft, like, hey, C.J. Henderson, Jeff Okudah, gap's not as far as people think it is.
Yeah.
In fact, some talk that some people might take Henderson before Okudah.
Yeah.
Now, that was just probably draft smoke. Bottom line is, C.J. Henderson came to play. C.J. Henderson had some weird moments on social media in the month of August. Mm-hmm. Missed some time. But the bottom line is, when it counted on Sunday in his rookie debut, came to play. Interception, some pass breakups. How about the 2 tackles he made? I mean, big-time tackles, and corners always get doubted for their tackling ability.
Yeah.
Heck of a performance. Bottom line is this. We'll talk more about each one of them. Who had your favorite rookie performance yesterday? You have several candidates. C.J. Henderson, James Robinson, Laviska Shenault, and maybe more. Colin Johnson caught a pass and then did a backflip as they were in the victory formation.
You saw that. Impressive for being 6'6", man.
Yeah, he can do it.
It can't be easy. I'd break my neck in a heartbeat.
Who had the best performance in your mind, or at least the one that you like the most?
I mean, listen, Henderson, I thought, played very well. And to be fair, he has the most pressure. He's the first-round pick. He's replacing Jalen Ramsey. But I like the James Robinson performance. Right now, he didn't go over 100 yards, and that's fine. But, to me, the James Robinson performance showed that, you know what, maybe there is a method to the madness with Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell. Maybe what they do tell us isn't smoke and mirrors.
Maybe they know a little something about football.
No, but, I mean, listen. And I was the first one to say it. Letting go of Leonard Fournette for nothing, and then saying James Robinson was going to be the starter kind of reminds me of, listen, are you guys really playing to win games? Now, I also said James Robinson was a heck of an FCS player, right? I mean, I talked to my guys from North Dakota State, and they swore by him, and I trust what they got to say. But, still, I mean, I still had to see it to believe it, right? I mean, I still had to see him with live reps, and for the most part, they did well. I thought the hurdle was a nice little touch at the end of that one play. So I like James Robinson because, yeah, C.J. Henderson had a hell of a game, but you know what? You're supposed to, man. You're first pick. No, I get it, man. It sometimes takes time to develop. I get that. But I wasn't expecting anything from James Robinson. Even with what Doug had to say and his teammates had to say, this undrafted guy out of Illinois State, a Firebird, I think if you are. All I remember about Illinois State is they had a very rude fan base. They weren't really nice to me when we played there in Murray State my junior year. Okay, they may have poured some beer on me.
Really?
Beat us by 40. Ugly game for the Murray State Racers. Just wasn't impressed with their fan base.
We need to get James on.
Yeah, we'll let him know about it a little bit. But with that being said, I think James Robinson was a nice, pleasant surprise that I did not see coming.
Yeah, that's a good call. And by the way, just to tack on one more thing in the James Robinson front, a couple of things actually, because I think he deserves more recognition and talk about. And we're going to talk about these rookies because, listen, the Jags needed to get some play from rookies, and they did. Yeah. Man, he's decisive hitting the hole. I can see that, right? He can hit and wiggle through a hole and then run you over a little bit. Mm-hmm. They had to really tackle him to bring him to the ground on first contact. That stuff was good to see. I mean, it was impressive, and the offensive line deserves some credit. There were a couple of holes that were really big, but I thought he picked the right spot. And that's the big knock on Leonard over the years, right? Just go get the yards, man. You have too many negative runs. This guy, I think he had maybe one negative run. Yeah. I think that was it. He was on his way to another one, but then drew the face mask penalty. And then what I like about Robinson is in crunch time, because it was in the fourth quarter, they throw the screen pass to him, and he delivers on that 28-yard pass play. It was the hurdle, great, but it was a big play. It was an important play. So when you're delivering as a young guy important plays to win football games, well, heck yeah. I've got to believe you've got plenty of options here, but I think C.J. Henderson does take it for me. C.J. Henderson, I think because of the lukewarm draft stock, because of the weird August, I don't view C.J. Henderson as replacing Jalen Ramsey, although that's what it essentially is.
That's what it is.
I don't view him that way because I think Ramsey's such a good player. Okay?
Sure.
So I think it's almost like I'm asking, he's one of the best players I've seen come through here in my 12 years, and I'm going to ask the next guy that comes in as a rookie to be just like him. That doesn't work in sports, right? That's a hard thing to do. But he doesn't have to be Jalen Ramsey. It'd be nice if he is in terms of his production. But he's got to be good. They picked him in the top 10.
He has to be a DB1.
He has to be good. And the Jags also have to hit on first-round picks. Well, after week one is like, I see what they did there. Kind of like what you said about James Robinson, Doug and Dave. I see what you did there. I can see that too after watching that game. Well, Dave Caldwell's scouting staff, you picked this guy number 9. I see what you did there. Big interception. Going up against T.Y. Hilton most of the day. He gets a break here or there because Hilton drops a pass, but he was good at chasing. His speed showed up when he lost a guy. He was able to close. And he makes 2 big tackles. And by the way, again, he makes game-changing plays. The interception's a game-changing play, but also the last ball goes his way, and he's in coverage, and it falls incomplete. Now, I guess T.Y. Hilton said he dropped that, and he didn't make a play, but he was close enough to make a play. So he at least disrupted the play. That means James Robinson, your guy, C.J. Henderson, my rookie of the week, if you will, for the Jags. Those are huge plays in the game. And you got to love that out of a team that is the youngest in the National Football League.
Well, they're going to have some rookies, that's for sure. Yeah, when you're youngest team, you got rookies.
So let's go down the list a little bit more. Chason didn't do a whole lot, right? I didn't see much. Obviously, the interception would have been big. And then you remember the play I'm talking about because I told you today on the golf course about this. Yeah. There was a play, at least from my press box view, that was out to the Colts sideline. And there was a lot of grass, and it looked like Chason was kind of in the middle. It looked like he had dropped into coverage but didn't get all the way outside. So he's kind of like, it was almost like monkey in the middle game being played, and there wasn't enough ground to catch up. Well, the ball gets completed, and he chased it down, man. I think it might have been a 3-yard play. Showed off his speed, right? And so he got stuck in the middle of this play and was still able to recover. I see the speed that they're talking about. That's good. And then the interception. The hard thing about the interception, because the holding penalty on Hayden, would he have gotten the interception even without the hold?
Yeah.
It looked like he might have, but I don't know because Rivers maybe would have gone to Paris Campbell, right?
Correct.
So who knows on that play? Didn't see a ton from Chason, if I'm being honest, but saw a flash or two and almost made a huge play in the game with the pick.
Yeah, as far as the pass rushing, that was, I don't want to say it was non-existent, but it was just – it was hard to leave that game excited, right? At the same time, though, and I brought this question up to start the show off a little bit. Last year, it seems like the dialogue that we heard from Jaguars fans and also some of the coaches possibly was the fact that Josh Allen didn't get more reps, right? On those base packages, you had Yannick Ngakoue, and then you had Calais Campbell playing the big end, and then you had Josh Allen coming on like the third down stuff on that like nickel defense, let's call it. Well, it seems like the same route's been taken now for Chason. And my question to you is, should they be doing that? You didn't hear the question. It's okay. I'll bring it back. Okay. Oh, my bad. You just take your time.
Yeah. I was just trying to digest it.
But you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah.
We left that season last year, Brett. We're thinking, man, should have got Josh Allen on the field a little more with Yannick Ngakoue. Imagine the combination. Like, they're too good not to be on the field.
Well,
are we going to have that same conversation now with Chason?
I don't want to bail him out to this, but it's going to sound like a bail. That's why I was hesitating. See, the problem with, and I don't know the exact number, but Allen didn't play a lot of snaps in the second half because of the cramps. So he went out for quite a bit. So would they have more in those situations? I don't know. Would they obviously, they didn't maybe enough. I saw him in a little bit, but not enough. So I don't really know how to answer that question completely because Allen was in and out of the game, early out of the game when he went and got the IV, I assume, and had the cramps. And like even on that critical stop, it was 27-20 or 24-20 on the first 2 downs. Allen wasn't in the game, but he came in on 3rd down because I think they were a little concerned about the cramping. I mean, once you start cramping in a game, it's tough to get rid of them. IVs or not. So yeah, let's just say this. I think you're right. I hope they get on the field more, right? You don't have the depth issues that but you don't have the depth that you had last year.
Yeah.
So you got to believe Chason shows enough to be able to get on the field more than some of the other guys they have on this roster.
Sure.
Makes sense?
Makes sense.
All right, the next guy, Laviska Shenault. I almost picked Laviska Shenault. He got a touchdown, man, in his first game.
Yeah.
He had a whole entire team try to tackle him and still didn't go to the ground one time. He had the Wildcat formation. I think he also ran another ball out of the backfield. He stood up a defender and a play down by the out of bounds by the sideline.
Couldn't tackle him. Untackleable.
Now, and also, by the way, I saw Shenault in motion because I remember tweeting about it. He comes in motion. Was it on the Chark touchdown? It might have been. That he comes in motion kind of in a fake to him, like a screen pass, and then they found Chark in the end zone. I think it was that play. It might have been a little bit before. But he brought the creativity to the offense that we've been yearning for here in Jacksonville. So I thought Laviska Shenault, although didn't have kind of the highlight jump out at you like C.J. Henderson and even James Robinson, I thought he played a big role in that football game, and he showed some signs of how they're going to use him, which is fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was kind of the thing that we all had on our minds, right, is Jay Gruden in the past has had these kind of gadget plays for some of his guys. I mean, Jay Gruden is one of the very first guys to implement the Wildcat formation when he was in Cincinnati. When you have Laviska Shenault, obviously a very dynamic player, very strong player. With that being said, I like what they're doing with Laviska Shenault because at the end of the day, once again, what are you doing right now if you're the Tennessee Titans? You got to watch this film. You got to count for Gardner Minshew. Right, you got to count now for James Robinson, and now we got to worry about all these little gadget plays that the Jaguars could have for Shenault. It's an extra entree, if you will, for defensive coordinators out there. Anytime you have that extra entree, it makes it harder to game plan for.
Let me ask you this: Devon Hamilton, did you see much out of him? It wasn't a guy that I really noticed a lot, if I'm being honest.
I saw a first step. Okay, I saw a first step. I don't want to put him on the same lines of Marcel Darius quite yet, but I saw a first step. I saw glimpses of what could be a very special player, honestly. Because once again, you know how I operate, man. The first thing I watch from the defensive line, being a defensive lineman myself, that's what I usually focus in on. I watch your get off and I watch how you are with your hands, your explosiveness. Hamilton has that. So I think at least in terms of depth, which is one of the biggest question marks this year in terms of depth of the defensive line, I think Hamilton's going to be just fine what he's being asked to do so far.
Yeah, and by the way, I still have a very hard time getting used to seeing that. That's Devon Hamilton. Why is he wearing 52?
I know, man. He's fast like a linebacker, it seems like.
It's a weird thing to see a guy that
Jacobs,
big.
Who is that?
We're number 52.
For sure.
Let's keep going down the rookies real quick. Colin Johnson, you got in there, but I mean, we didn't see a whole lot, let's be honest.
We saw a backflip.
The backflip was good, and apparently Doug Marrone didn't love the backflip thing at the end of the game.
Didn't like it?
That's kind of what – I didn't listen to Doug today because we're at the golf tournament, but I saw some rumblings about that on social media. Didn't love it, let's just say. Right. I love it. Have some fun.
Brand, man. It's for the brand.
Have some fun. You know the funny thing about the game? I saw, and I actually have video, and I haven't tweeted it out, but Timmy Jernigan, there was some celebration at the end, of course. Well, Timmy Jernigan took like a victory lap in the end zone, and he's like pumping it, like, hey, man, there's only like 12 fans over there.
Yeah.
It was like maybe it was his family or something.
Yeah, sure.
But Timmy Jernigan was having some fun. Stay on the rookies for a moment with me.
Gotcha.
The only other one, and you can tell me if I'm missing somebody because there's so many of them, but I thought that Chris Claypool did a nice job at the corner spot. I think he's drafted to be a return man this year, but he had to be pressed into action. And I didn't see anything that was like, oh boy, they're going to take advantage of this guy. And that's kind of what you want out of someone who comes in that situation. Like, just hold the fort down.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a pretty good job of it. So even that guy, 7th-round pick who you're not expecting, man, the rookies played well yesterday overall.
I mean, you love to see it, right? Now, once again, you have the youngest team in the NFL. There definitely going to be some rookies on that team, but I think they got a lot of production, whether it's on special teams, even like Shaq Quarterman. I think he had a tackle or he had a good play on special team. Like, it seemed like every rookie got his name called at least once, and that's what you want to see. This is the foundation now for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, these guys that we're watching right here. And it's cool to see them, whether on special teams or they're starting on offense and defense, have success right away. Because let's be honest, if you had any excuse this year for rookies not to perform well, it's this year. It's COVID-19. It's no rookie minicamp. It's no OTAs, right? It's only a couple weeks with no preseason games. With that being said, I thought the rookies played pretty well. Now, once again, and I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit, but this is why I'm excited for the Tennessee Titans game, because you're going to find out what you truly have in that locker room. It's not going to be you're going to get beat by a scheme here or a scheme there. You're not going to get out-schemed, at least on defense, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. What could happen, though, is you could get outmanned. You could get outgunned. And with that being said, it's not so much of prepping yourself, mentally. You prep yourself physically.
Yeah, and it's going to be a physical one. It always is. Josh says, in a normal season, isn't the offense usually a little ahead of the defense in camp and early in preseason? I feel like that's what we're seeing here without a preseason. I think it can get better. I think it's just the opposite. Don't they usually say the defense is ahead of the offense?
Absolutely. Because keep in mind, offense is all about timing, right? It's all about, that connection, that communication. Well, it's hard to even get that even in practice because it's not full speed. You're not going against full speed defense. Well, in a game, the defense has an advantage, so I disagree.
Here's the best compliment to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I heard it last night in the Tampa game. Or somebody was analyzing the Tampa game. Maybe it was like Chris Sims or somebody. Like, hey, give it time. This is Tom Brady, new team, new people, new this, new that. They're going to take some time. They showed some signs. They're going to take some time to get it figured out. Whoa. Stop the car. This is a completely new roster in parts. Yeah. Jay Gruden's a new offensive coordinator. Ben McAdoo's a new QB coach. Now, they do have some continuity in terms of their players on offense. But the Jags have a lot of new on their football team. Their offense looked pretty efficient and good. Not explosive, I wouldn't say, but efficient and good, and they were able to win a game. So I think it's a nice compliment. The excuse they're using for Brady and the Bucs struggling a little bit, the Jags could use the same excuse. I mean, heck, probably a lot of teams could use that excuse. And instead, they end up getting a win over a team that, listen, Phillip Rivers is new to the Colts, but outside of that, there's a lot of continuity on that football team, too.
Sure.
And you're taking a 17-year guy and putting him in. I think it was kind of a lame excuse, actually, for the Bucs and Brady. I think you got to be worried that Brady doesn't have it, and the Bucs are overrated more than anything else.
You better believe it.
It's nice to see players excited for the team and just excited for themselves, Minshew Madness says. Clay, you guys mentioned you wish we hadn't traded Calais to the Ravens. The pick we got from the Ravens ended up being Colin Johnson. Could pay dividends for years to come. I get it.
Could.
I get it. But we were talking in the context of right now.
Correct.
And obviously every week you could say Calais Campbell would help you more most likely than Colin Johnson right now. But you're not wrong as we look at the total picture. Hey, Scott says, there were a couple of plays when Minshew was sacked while holding on to the ball for too long. Seemed like he had plenty of time to get rid of it. We saw that last year too. Any cause for concern? Let's bring it back to Minshew a little bit because it's a Minshew Monday here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Every time the Jags win, it's a Minshew Monday. You better bring your bandanas. You better bring your aviators, your jorts. Show off the guns. And we need to, I do get some facial hair, I guess. Shaved yesterday. Shouldn't have done that. But Minshew, did he hold the ball too long? Were there things that he could have done better? I saw Tyler Eifert on a couple of social media plays that people kind of tweeted back, one especially that he was wide open, but another one that even on the Laviska Shenault touchdown that Eifert looked open. Yeah. And I'm not saying Gardner missed him. That was more of a compliment to Eifert. He got open a few times, which is also very nice. But
it's good to have options of people getting open.
It would be interesting to see on the tape as Minshew watched today, okay, what did I miss? Could I have done even better? Even though it's a completed pass, could I have gone somewhere else? When I tucked and ran a little bit, or I thought he backed into a sack a little bit, and that was more instinct. If he had stepped up instead, it probably would have worked out better for him. Again, we're being really nitpicky on Minshew, man. The guy went 19 for 20 and led to him a win with 3 touchdowns. If he held the ball a little bit too long, he might have. He's not going to be perfect.
Well, yeah.
If he did miss the guy instead of hit this guy, well, at least it was still complete. I thought he was sensational on third downs. In big spots, he delivered in the clutch on third downs, and he took care of the ball. You could tell he knew the situation. He knew Josh Lambo was there, right? He knew Josh Lambo doesn't miss. And so he said, you know what, I'm not going to take a chance here. I'm getting down. I'll get a yard pickup or two, and that's it, and we'll kick a field goal.
Listen, if Minshew could have some of those sacks back, he definitely would, right? The internal clock probably should have gone off a little sooner, probably should have got rid of the ball. And it's something he had an issue with last year, right? And the last thing we want to see is like a Jameis Winston. You hang on the ball, you turn the ball over, and you become a detriment to your team. With that being said, though, I would rather have the backyard make a play happen Gardner Minshew with that, who takes a couple sacks every once in a while, at least he has ball security, over a guy who gets gun shy and throws the ball away and tries not to extend the plays. Because I guarantee the guys in that locker room right now, they want the backyard player who tries to make plays happen even when it crumbles a little bit. That's who the players want in that team, and that's who I want to see as well. So if it's going to sacrifice a couple sacks here or there, maybe a turnover, in a couple games, so be it. I would rather have that than a guy who's just not comfortable in the pocket, throws the ball away right away, and leaves stuff on the table. I don't want any kind of points being left on the table.
And I'll say this again. I said at the beginning of the show when I got on and we were flexing our Minshew muscles here on a Minshew Monday on ESPN 690.
Hey, by the way, is that copywritten yet?
No.
Well, there you go.
I might have to check with his people.
Trying to help you out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Trying to help you out, man.
That's very good.
You're welcome.
We'll get on that after the show.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I think if you, again, what's there to criticize? He's 19 for 20, 3 touchdowns. If you're like, well, he only threw for 173 yards. Was it a little bit of a mirage? Were they so efficient? Did they get some help? Here's the thing. You got to remember, I think you'll see a little more of the deep ball because he throws the deep ball well. Look at his numbers last year. That was a good number for him. Wasn't it up like with Russell Wilson and some other Patrick Mahomes when we did some of the stats on Gardner Minshew? I mean, he's not afraid to throw the deep ball. I think they'll extend it. I just think Jay Gruden didn't need it much. Now, Keelan Cole, that's considered a pretty good ball deep. And also Chark got called for the interference. That was deep. Gave him a chance. So that wasn't even a great throw, really. But anyway, I think they'll open it up a little bit more when they need to. I do think you're right. You got to, if you embrace the Minshew guy that runs around sometimes, creates and makes plays, then you have to also be okay with the guy that sometimes might lose the football, sometimes might force a play, and no, he didn't do that yesterday. And also a guy that might earn himself a sack for holding on the ball.
Yep.
I mean, it comes with the territory. You can't have it both ways. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's been fumbling the football in the pocket for a long time, but he also makes a heck of a lot of football plays because he holds onto the ball and fights defenders off. I mean, he's made a career of that, and he's deadly because of that. And people don't bring up the fumbles and bad plays very much. The other thing about Minshew, man, is they're starting to get a label. It's not the Minshew mania. Hopefully Minshew Monday becomes a thing on ESPN 690 because that means they're winning. But it's the moxie. It's the Minshew moxie. There's a belief now, I think even outside of the building, here in town, like, you know what? I kind of like this guy with the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter. I kind of like something good is going to happen. I think he has 7 wins in his career now. I know that. And I think he has 4 comeback wins, 4 fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, that's a nice little trend. That means I can get stuff done in the clutch. That's the moxie we're talking about, a little magic. People believe in that stuff inside the locker room, and it filters outside the locker room, too. I think that's a very nice thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars to have in their quarterback, a belief in their quarterback. When was the last time a 53-man roster in the locker room, or 52 others, believed in the guy that is throwing the football for this team? And I mean wholeheartedly believed in him.
I mean, for me, it was Dave Garrard, and you let him go.
and I'll ask you this, man, and I love DG, and I would still question whether even everybody thought DG was the right guy. I wonder. Now, you were in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, we trusted him.
Yeah, and you're probably right, and that's probably the most fair answer to that. But you have to go back a decade almost to find that.
Yeah.
And think about it. That's amazing. I mean, yes, people are going to say we believe in Bortles over the years and Foles coming in.
But you have to earn that, though.
But this guy has.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what was on Jaguars.com, the post game, and he dropped some F-bombs in there, and he's this is just one win.
Love my quarterback dropping F-bombs.
If you watch, and PCAV and Dave DeCandish will like this, if you watch that on Jaguars.com, go check it out. And you're talking about a guy who has now made 13 starts in the NFL, who is breaking down your team, and there is no doubt he's the man on this football team.
Yeah.
That is a good thing right now for this football team, for this franchise. I don't know how long it lasts, if I'm being honest.
Well, and listen, and this is what I like. I started with the show with this today for the opening segment. I like the fact that, once again, he's making strides. Like, he understands now that he's the man. Nick Foles is gone. Okay, there's not a competition anymore. There's not any drama anymore. There's not like, well, I got to. No, you've earned your stripes. Okay, you're the general now. Go out there and take care of business. And so far, Gardner Minshew is doing exactly that. But you get this sense that his teammates on this team right now, they love to play for the guy, right? Because that's what I want out of my quarterback. I want, for some reason where the media was crucial to Gardner Minshew for one game, I want Laviska Shenault. I want DJ Tark to be in tears wearing shades saying, that's my quarterback, a la Terrell Owens and it must have been Tony Romo when he was in the Dallas or whatever. When T.O. was crying over Tony Romo because people were being mean to him, I love that, man, because it showed you just how much Terrell Owens cared about Tony Romo. I get the sense that the guys around in this locker room would do the same thing for Gardner Minshew right now. And a guy who's going on a second season, who's literally played not even a full season, who's played however many games and then one game this year. That says a lot. And I get the vibe that he is now officially the man of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, though. At least for this season. That's a big deal for this organization. Because, again, you don't know what he is exactly. You don't know how great he's going to be. But it's important that the team believes in him. And I know that sounds silly. And everybody says they're bought in. But there are whispers over the last decade about every quarterback they've had. Mm-hmm. I mean, and because of Foles got hurt, it was Minshew or Foles. There was divide last year in the locker room. Bortles, there's always been division about should we believe in this guy or not. Mm-hmm. And we know Gabbert, it was blind faith because he never earned any of it, quite frankly. So he just earned it again yesterday. That's a big moment, I think, for Gardner Minshew. I think it's a big moment for him with Jay Gruden. How much did he just earn in terms of respect and trust from his offensive coordinator? Because it's the first time Gruden has seen him do it right in front of his eyes.
Yeah. Now, and I said this too before, but be careful because I also praised John DeFilippo right away too of how well he worked with Minshew, and then we saw how that kind of turned out towards the end in terms of the red zone and things like that. But after one game, yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Gruden.
Yeah, well, that was, in fairness, that ended up being more on DeFilippo.
Yeah.
We're going to hope Gruden continues to call good games and work with strengths and doesn't get into the funk, I guess DeFilippo did. But you are right. We thought DeFilippo did a good job early on as well. Mm-hmm. Listen, I just think that's what this year is all about, and Gardner Minshew is off to a heck of a start. I think we are all lying if we know, okay, where's this going with Minshew? Can he do this all the time? Unfortunately for him, he's going to have to. I get real emotional talking about Minshew on a Minshew Monday.
I guess so.
He is going to have to continue to pile games on. Mm-hmm. And I guess the next step for Minshew, because last year lacked consistency, will be, can he do it week in, week out? This is his team. He's going to get the starts. He doesn't have the Foles thing, and he's not trying to learn a system now. He's in the middle of a season like he was. He's got some weapons that are familiar with him. This is his team. They're looking for him to make plays. I guess that next step, can you go back out to Tennessee on the road, a team that, quite frankly, this organization hasn't played against well recently, and go play a good football game? I'm not saying you have to be perfect in 19 for 20, but go play a good football game and keep piling up consistent performances.
But keep in mind, though, a lot of players in the locker room right now don't give a crap about the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans.
That's a good thing.
And it's a great thing. They don't understand right now that the Tennessee Titans are essentially the big brother to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC South. They don't understand that. And sometimes ignorance can be absolute bliss. So with that being said, it's almost like they have a clean slate right now against the Titans. Like, yeah, obviously the Titans fans will let you know about it, and they'll go on Twitter and let you know about it and all that stuff. But the players in that locker room, they're not really educated. I mean, they might be. I mean, Doug Marrone might bring it up. But I'm just saying they haven't had to endure the big brother of the Tennessee Titans. So it's a clean slate. Now, you got a clean slate. Let's see what you got, though.
That's fun talking about Gardner Minshew getting it done here on a Monday on ESPN 690. We call it a Minshew Monday after a Jags win. We have some fun. 1-0, Jacksonville Jaguars. Tennessee plays tonight. They'll get a good look at that. Then they go to Nashville next week. Hey, what happened the rest of the NFL? Tom Brady, Cam Newton. Who was the story of the weekend? And it wasn't just the Jags, by the way. When was the last time the Jags, Raiders, Cardinals, Washington all won on the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, the NFL's tough to predict, man. Don't bet on the NFL, people. I've been trying to tell you. Don't do it. We talk a little NFL. We talk Austin's fight at the TKO in the first round. I need a belt. And a big thanks for everybody from the Action Sports Shack Stream 18 today at the golf club at Southampton. It's been quite a day, quite a couple of days. It's a lot of fun. Let's keep it up. One more segment to go on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few scattered showers tonight, especially this evening. Otherwise warm and muggy, dropping only into the low to mid-70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Save thousands right now with Beards' unbeatable deals.
It's a busy time right now as the kids head back to school. COVID-19 is still lingering, and flu season is right around the corner. Clean air and home comfort have never been more important. Clean air equals healthier air. Your friends at Bold City Heating and Air offer duct sanitation and air purification, meaning not only will your Bold City Heating and Air be chilly cold, but also free of any microbacteria or nasty viruses that may try to make your home their home. Never fear what you can't see again. For only $499, a Bold City Heating and Air sanitation and purification package will give you peace of mind knowing your family is breathing fresh, clean air. Let the team at Bold City Heating and Air take care of your air and comfort. Be bold with COVID and flu season and sanitize your ducts for only $499. Simply with a call to Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. That's 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. Bold City Heating and Air. Be bold and stay cold.
The football season is here, and you can track the latest news, odds, and information at betonline.net. And while stadiums won't be full, game action will be loaded. Which players will step up to lead their team? Is there still a home field advantage? Will offense or defense dominate these early weeks of the season? Follow along at betonline.net as the top teams in football begin their journey to Tampa. Available online or your mobile device. Check out the site today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
The ride you want, the savings you need. Oh, and when it comes to credit approval, almost everyone gets approved. Sounds like it's time to get it all and get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Finding the best ride starts with big-time selection. And at Arlington Toyota, you'll find over 750 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Right now at Arlington, shop over 100 quality pre-owned cars to buy at $0 down and just $199 a month. Looking for a truck or SUV? Arlington's got 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs to buy at $0 down and $269 a month. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. Now, when I say get it all at Arlington, I mean it, because you'll get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Just another way that Arlington goes the extra mile for you. Get it all when you shop pre-owned at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
It's the best offer ever at Diamonds Direct. 5 years, zero interest financing. And this weekend, the focus is on Viraggio. Handcrafted in New York, Viraggio is the only bridal designer that allows you to truly personalize your ring from the inside out. We've flown in the entire Viraggio collection for this special event. So come and express your individual style this Friday and Saturday. Discover the Viraggio difference and enjoy 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
Back to school also means back to Friday night football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2020 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Sometimes you go to a place and you just feel at home. That's the way it is at the golf course at Southampton, and you can make it your home course. Membership program starting at just $79. The brand new practice facility has been a huge hit. It's a fun course, player-friendly course, so get your buddies, your friends, go play some golf and have some fun at the golf club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 golf tournament, and it can be your home course as well. For information on memberships, call 904-287-PLAY. That's 904-287-PLAY.
Is your business losing sales from the current pandemic?
Are you trying to remain in touch with important clients? If you're struggling with questions like this, you're not alone. Many small businesses are currently in a severe crisis and need immediate assistance. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE offers webinars on a variety of topics that can help you manage through this crisis. Click on the Take a Workshop tab at jacksonville.score.org and register today.
Nurses take extraordinary care of us during what is often the most difficult and trying times in one's life. We often take for granted the service and sacrifice of these first responders. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. If you are a nurse and currently face investigation or complaint under the Florida Nurse Practice Act, you are not alone. Call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
The First Coast is booming. With interest rates at historic lows, there has never been a better time to call Brandon Ponsel and his network of local experts at JAGS Coastal Homes. You can visit them at jagscoastalhomes.com or call them today at 904-206-9480 and mention ESPN 690 to receive up to $2,500 towards your closing cost. Need to sell? Powered by the unparalleled technology of EXP, Brandon will guarantee the sale of your home in under 60 days, or he'll sell it for free. The First Coast market is on the move. Are you?
Celebrate your love in 2020 with the return of the best opportunity of all time at Diamonds Direct. 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase. Now, for a limited time, you can get that sparkling diamond ring or pair of earrings with nothing down and no interest for 5 whole years. You can even finance the sales tax. Diamonds Direct, helping you for 2020 with the easiest and best way to buy jewelry. From a $2,000 purchase to a $20,000 purchase, you can get zero interest financing for 5 years on approved credit. See store for details or diamondsdirect.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports JAGS. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
Brent Martineau.
Well, listen, if we wanted to just bump WWE by like a half hour or a few minutes, we should have just rolled your highlight tape.
Austin Lane.
Oh! And there it is. And now Brent's playing ball. All of a sudden, Chapman throwing some high heat at me. Watch out for that suspension, Brent. Real quick, though.
Action Sports JAGS on ESPN 690.
Yeah, I think one of the things that served us well today is that we all have so much belief in each other. You know, whether it's me and them or them and me. I think when you have that, you can trust people to do their jobs, and you know, everybody can focus on their own. And I'm really proud of how we played. I really think that you know, we're just scratching the surface.
That's the man right there. It's a Minshew Monday on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. Hey, let's start here. Big thanks to everybody for coming out to the Action Sports JAGS Dream 18. Thanks to all our sponsors and Cadillac and law offices of Ron Scholes and Jacksonville Giants and Best Bet and Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and so many others. The local sports teams that have always supported it over the last few years as we made it a sports celebration. We had so many different vendors out there, food-wise, cool. Moe's and Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. Front Porch Kettle Corn, Mambo's was awesome. Everything's so good. Who am I missing? Metro Diner. I said Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You got those donuts out there?
Mini Bar.
Star
Nutrition. Yep. Smoothie King.
Mouth is watering right now.
It was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only had the tea, which I got amped up off of.
That was from Star Nutrition. That tastes good.
Yeah, that tea was like, I drank it. I'm like, okay, well, there's sugar to my, fast, like I was doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Sugar, right off the bat. Then I go to the guy, because that's how I am. He's like, oh, there's no sugar in this. I'm like, all right, it's pretty good. Sure? It's a pretty good beverage you have here then. Yeah, delicious. But no, it was a great event, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. A lot of fun. The weather actually did hold off today, but my goodness, it had rained a lot the last week, and thanks to the golf club at Southampton for putting up with a lot of golfers on a lot of rain and a soft track. But the golf course looked good. We just got to get it dried out a little bit. And they actually didn't even have cart path only the entire way. I mean, only on, I think, 6 of the holes. So that was pretty good. And going to raise probably, even in a pandemic year, close to $25,000 this year. We always shoot to about $25,000, $30,000. This isn't a $100,000 golf tournament. It's not what we do. Try to have a good day, raise some money for St. Michael's Soldiers celebrating their 10th year, and for North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. And so now, all told, I think we'll have raised probably close to or over $150,000 for local charities since the Dream 18 concept was born. So pretty cool. And a lot of gratitude on my part for everybody that helps. Got to give a shout out to all the folks here that help us promote it, and also put up with me for talking about it a lot. And Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson out there all day. Olivia Tassley really helped out a bunch this year, and we had some great volunteers along the way. Especially my wife, Steph. Yeah. She was there all day to help out. So a bunch of thanks, and too many to I could go on and on, but we do appreciate it. Hey, want to get in your fight?
Yeah.
What's we got a belt?
Got a belt
it's coming in a couple weeks.
Coming in the mail.
And tell us about the fight, man. I was jacked up. I was fired up. I was like, all of a sudden, it was like around 9 o'clock, 9:30.
Yep.
And I start looking. I'm like, hey, man, I wonder, he should be fighting soon. Mm-hmm. And I actually was about to reach out to Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, hey, were you getting a play-by-play or something? Because this thing is not anywhere. Like, I can't find people tweeting about it.
Yeah.
Like, how is this in this world?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you seriously texted me.
Yeah.
First round TKO. That a baby. Got it done.
Yeah, well, the best part was, it's like a group text, right? So I kind of copy and paste it, first round TKO.
Yeah.
So I tweeted that to my wife, Cody. She's like, well, did you win or did you lose? Because he didn't say that.
He didn't say it, but I kind of assumed that he won.
Hey, I'm not going to brag about getting knocked out in the first round.
Send it out group text.
Yeah, so I had to reassure my wife, I won. We're all good to go. Yeah, listen, it was a great fight. Listen, I can go into super depth about what happened, stuff like that, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible here. So usually in a fight, Brent, there's 3 phases. There's the first phase, which is kind of like the kicking range, right? Like where you're both on the outside. There's phase 2 where you can each punch each other in the face. Like there's that range. And there's phase 3 where it's like you guys are up close and personal and you're throwing elbows and things like that. The whole plan of this whole fight was to go phase 1, right? Stay long. This guy's a little bit shorter. They call him Boom for a reason. He's got some power in his hands, so stay long. So immediately I come out, and that's what I do. And the mental gymnastics that you can put yourself through planning for a fight is unreal, right? Because, I had my game plan in mind, but also I was trying to look at, like, what is his game plan going to be? Like, what do I think he's going to do? So I went back and I watched a lot of my fights, and then I noticed that in every one of my fights, I start things off with a leg kick. So I'm like, if I'm a betting man, I bet he's going to think I'm going to throw a leg kick to start things off with. Well, I was right. And keep in mind, so there were fans at this venue, but it was like a smaller fan base just because of COVID and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I could hear his corner the whole time. It was kind of weird and kind of eerie. You can hear like the corners.
Interesting,
the entire time, right? So as I come out, I hear his corner goes, get ready for it, here it comes. And I heard that, I'm like, he thinks the leg kick's coming. So I made it a habit of like feinting I was going to kick him and start throwing punches. That kind of threw him off a little bit. So after that, then, we kind of go back and forth a little bit, and we ended up getting against the fence, and I took him down. And that's the point in the fight where I knew, like, we're good to go. Because 2 things happened in that instance. Number 1, I felt his strength, okay? And to be fair, he had a bad weight cut. He almost didn't make weight. So I knew he was going to be a little weak and probably not feel 100%. And number 2, he tried to throw a punch before that, and I saw it, like, in slow motion. Like, there's sometimes in a fight, if you're sparring, where you're sparring somebody, you're fighting somebody, and you can't really get a gauge on where the punches are coming from. I saw the punch coming from a mile away. I'm like, I got this. I'm already locked in. I'm ready to roll. So immediately, my confidence at an all-time high. I take him down. I try to go for my bread and butter head and arm choke. Didn't quite have it, so I had a decision to make. I have a head and arm choke right now. It's called a triangle choke for people at home. And I have my head and arm choke. How that works is basically I choke him with his own arm across his face, okay? The cool thing about this choke is that my ear is right next to his mouth. So usually when you choke somebody in the submission, you can hear him gurgle like, oh, and you know you have it tight. So you go for the finish there.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so the bad part about this choke, though, is that you can gas your arms out if you don't have it. So I knew that I didn't have it completely, right? Because he was kind of a bigger guy. My arm wasn't quite around his neck, but I'm like, I got to go for it here. It feels too good. So I started to squeeze. And I started to squeeze. I don't hear it gurgle. I'm like, is he poker facing me? Is he already unconscious? Or is he just not feeling this? So I squeeze a little more. I'm like, this isn't working. So I have to abandon ship right now. So I abandon ship. We stand back up. And then, like I said, the whole goal, me and my coach went over this like a million times in our training camp, stay at phase 1, right? Stay at the distance, be long, be an athlete, let him come to me. Nope. Hockey fighting, man. I'm on the inside, and we're both swinging for the fences. May the best man win. And thankfully, I caught him on the button with an uppercut. He kind of like went out for a second. He was still standing up. The ref jumped in, and then he called the fight from there. Now, my reaction to this is, keep in mind, like, there's nothing better than a fight, right? I mean, like, playing football was great, but after you win a fight, after all the work you put in, like, there's so much adrenaline flowing through you. It's awesome. And I just kind of stood there like, dang, man. Like, I had something else in mind for him. Like, you're going to stop the fight. So I was actually upset. The crowd, which was in his backyard, started booing me now, right? So they're upset because they thought the fight ended too soon. I think he felt like he got saved a little bit because, like I said, he was kind of out in his feet a little bit. So I think he felt like it was an okay stoppage. But I said, like, man, I wish we could have went a little longer. Like, I had more for you, let's just say. So the whole time the crowd's booing me. Now, in the pre-fight meeting, there was, they go through the rules and everything. You can't hit a grounded opponent with your knee, all that good stuff, right? It's a bunch of, boring stuff. But a big point that a promoter, Andy, made to me, he's like, whatever you do not get on the microphone if you win and swear. Because we have some very important people in the building, because I guess, like, they extended some invitations to, like, some senators or some governors and stuff like that. So there's, like, a bunch of important people in the audience. And then they want to come across as professional and family-friendly. So I get on the microphone. And, me being humble, I respect my opponent, stuff like that. I sing his praises. I thank my teammates, things like that. And I'm done. There's a guy in the audience that keeps, and I can hear him because, once again, it's weird how it's set up, so I can hear everything this guy is saying, and let's just say he had a couple of choice words to say to me. So the announcer's like, all right, Osling, everybody, and I go, give me a microphone. And I take the microphone out of the announcer's hand, and I'm like this. I gotta censor it for our radio show as well. But I'm like, hey, you can be mad at me for how this fight ended, okay? I wanted this fight to go on. I wanted blood. I wanted violence. I didn't get that. I'm upset too. And then I go, but if you got a problem with me, and I point to the guy that's like literally talking the most smack to me. So it's this older gentleman, kind of a bigger guy, and I point to him and go, if you have a problem with me, feel free to add a little bit of a weight and meet me in here in a couple weeks, and we can bring it back for the belt if you want to. But now, keep in mind, I swore a little bit, and I had a few choice words for him. Immediately I say that, and I'm like, I give the mic back, and I walk out. First thing I do, go to the promoter, like, dude, I'm sorry for swearing. He's like, are you kidding me? That was the best thing I've ever seen. I'm like, all right, cool.
Fine.
So he was happy with it. But overall, man.
Man, you've been watching too much AEW.
I know, man. Got under my skin a little bit. Well, I'm so fired up. I didn't get the finish that I wanted. People were talking smack to me in the crowd. I had no choice. So then after that, they had the wrong belt. So apparently they ordered the belt, but unfortunately it wasn't the right one. So they actually had to use Boom Gordon, my opponent. They had to use one of his belts for, like, quote unquote, the state, championship. So they put it around me. I took a picture with it. Then after that, it has to go back to Boom Gordon. So they're making me a special belt. It's going to be a custom made one. They're going to mail it, and I'll bring it in and show it off.
Nice.
Yeah,
got the win.
Got the win.
That you're disappointed in a sense in the win because you wanted a little more.
I know, dude. I was really exactly. And it's funny too because even my coach was like, "Hey, man, you just won. You're okay, right? Like, it'll come to you." I'm like, "Oh no, I understand what just happened. I just kind of visualized it going a different way. Like, it was kind of it wasn't really big. Like, I went out with a bang. It was kind of like, it's over."
You know what sometimes hits me on this show, sitting here with Austin Lane, is how different of a world we live in at times. Like, I just can't get into that. I can't get into your mind in a fight. I have a hard time. Thankfully, I don't have to.
Yeah. Well, and then the cool part was too, man. So it's probably the best I felt before a fight. And I hope there's a picture of me, but when I walk in the cage, I have the biggest smile on my face.
Really?
Because, there's always nerves. Yeah, there's always nerves before. But I'm just like, dude, I'm getting ready to have some fun. Like, this is, I seriously enjoy it. And I wish everybody could experience the feeling of putting the work in and getting a win and, knocking the dude out and things like that. There's nothing better in the world, man. I'm telling you.
Good for you, man.
It was awesome.
Congrats, proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Put a lot of work into it. Get the W. And now we want to see the belt. Yeah. Hey, that was a lot of fun. It's a Minshew Monday. We do this if the Jags win. Minshew Monday. We'll see if it happens next week as well. We'll be back on Tuesday. Probably look a little more, well, like we usually do. Jags Report Live.
But yeah, you.
Jags Report Live makes its debut tonight from the studio, 7 o'clock on CBS 47. We talk more Jags on TV. And you got a doubleheader of football ahead of you as well. We'll talk more about the NFL as a whole coming up tomorrow for sure. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the day. For
Happy
Coos
Minshew Monday.
and Austin Lane, I'm Brent Martineau. We'll see you on TV tonight.